Hey man, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. What's happening, man?
Hey man, staying busy. Ain't
Yeah,
even
is
left
that
work yet.
right? You in the car? Oh, you at work?
Oh yeah, I just clocked out. I ain't even left the building yet. Jumped on
Oh
to come
man, I
fuck
hear
with
you.
you.
Yeah, man. What's
How
going
you?
down, man? So you said you moved from where to where?
I moved from
Yeah.
Virginia to Texas.
All right. All right, man. Okay. Job opportunity, I guess. Calls, business call.
Oh yeah, more money. Making that
All
money, you know
right,
what I'm
man.
saying? Gotta move to the
So,
money.
so how you like Texas so far? You just
Other than it being hot, I love it out here. I
yeah,
love it
man.
out here. Other than it being
All
hot
right.
as
What,
fuck.
what city, if you don't mind?
Arlington,
Okay.
Cowboys Nation.
Man, you gonna be a Cowboy fan or what, man? You know what I'm saying? You know,
Hey, I don't have to be. I'm not a fan, but they pay well. I like the paychecks I get from working them games, so I'll do
that's
that.
cool. That's good, man. You know, moving on up. You
How
know,
you? What
so
you got going on, man? It's been a couple of weeks, man. How you?
I mean, it's just chilling, man. You know, I thought I'd get a topic somebody wants to listen. Somebody wants to talk about. You know, nobody cares about politics, man. You know, this is shit. Let's talk about body count, so we can badger the hell out of the women and shit. You know, now, but that's not going to be that kind of show. You saw what I sent you, right?
Hmm.
Uh, anyway, man. So the point really is, I mean, we're gonna have some discussion. I got a couple of clips, like I always do, and I think some interesting conversation we can have it out. I don't know who's gonna pop up. Trey will probably pop in, and a few other folks. Maybe Berlin might pop in and that kind of stuff. So um, I didn't throw that thumbnail out. I wish I had it earlier. Maybe I could have publicized it a little bit better. Other than that, man, we should have some fun with this thing. So I do have what I call an icebreaker, but it's not really a funny thing. But one of the things I have a feeling, and it's going to be one of the questions. I think women in general either have a blind spot when it comes to what men want and need and what we care about, or they just have willful ignorance. And so this first clip is a combination of that. And I'm gonna connect it to the body count issue because I think it's one and the same thing based on how women think about what men want and what men think. They act like it's, what we care about doesn't matter, and sometimes they don't realize it. It doesn't matter whether it matters to them; it matters to us, right? And some of them actually don't get that. That's one, or they don't give a shit, or say, or maybe a combination of both. But this first clip that I want to show, and if you have any other general stuff you have to say, maybe somebody could come in. But I guess it could get the ball rolling in terms of there's a conversation with a man and a woman in a car, and just to let you know, she's trying to convince him why he should let her have male friends. It's a good.
I watched that video. Hey, fam, it low key started an argument in my house because I was playing the video. She heard it in the background. I was like, I don't
Yeah.
see nothing wrong. Yeah. It created a
You
nice
know what I'm
argument in my
saying? Yeah,
house.
so it's a conversation thing. And the lady, myself, and we're going to show it to people. I'm trying to figure out whether she's being willfully ignorant or obtuse, or she actually doesn't get it. And the thing I like about the video is the man was standing 10 tones down. He wasn't like, she tried to use the shame shit, and all that. He wasn't having none of it. So let's just, we don't have to play. Let's just play that. I'm going to just play. I thought the shit was pretty good. All right. So let's go ahead and get this one started.
Understand how you get mad because I want male friends. Like, why
you want male friends?
Why not have them? That's how God placed us, men and women. Just because I'm married to you doesn't mean that I can't have male friends.
Well, you should have walked down the aisle with the whole hood instead of just one man. Because when you came into this relationship, it was understood what I expected from you. I don't believe in females having male friends. That's just me. It was at the door. So
but
now,
why you so
now you
in?
think you
why
got me. You think you finna start altering
That's
different
not true.
Nah, you got
why
me,
you so closed in? Why you not open minded?
What, I'm open to a train? A menage a trois?
Like,
what you want me opening to?
For real. What make you think
I
I'm
got
gonna get a damn
boundaries.
train on me?
Because why you want more than one man around you?
When I was in school, I had male friends and none of them was
and ain't now one of them married you, paid a bill, had kids,
because they were nothing.
Okay, then they giving you the bare minimum. Now how the fuck what I look like giving you all that what you need and ask for from me, and then allowing you go out here, man, to nurture another man with conversation, a woman essence. You know what I'm saying? All this bullshit that you think you got locked in here that you gonna be able to go and give to another nigga. Nah, I'd rather sign on paper, see you on by your way. I'm not finna play no games with you.
Hey man, you want me to start it over again?
No, I was listening the whole time.
Okay.
That mean you have insecurities in yourself.
No, that mean I'm secure with myself. Because if you go against my mental peace and think I'm finna compromise that to be with you, I'll let you go. Cause what you want.
Now, see, there you go. Right? He said it. He said, man, if that's what you want, I'll let you go. You know? And how many men do you think would actually say that to his wife?
Look.
And I was like, I know
people are acting and pretending as if, because he clearly said you already knew this when we got here. He said this before. This ain't nothing brand new. So the question you asked before is being willfully obtuse. It's intentional ignorance is what I like to call it. Intentional ignorance.
There's no doubt about it, man. Absolutely no doubt about it. And I think that's infuriating him because she actually started to throw that your insecure shit in there. And listen, if we take the layer back, I like to peel the layer back because I go to my theory about women, and it's not necessarily negative, but women actually don't have only see men as something useful to them. Like women generally don't have men in their orbit or around them unless they could extract something from that man. And I'm not even talking about sex. That's where he's coming from. What do you need a male friend for in your life to do what? Have a conversation with? To have a drink with? Even if you ain't stroking them, right? We as men, we kind of default to the fact that every man wants to bang you out. But let's just take the sex off of the table, right? And ask her, what do you need Mr. Joe B for? What's he doing for you that you need to be in his circle so much, right? And she's gonna, if she can answer that, well, this guy gives me, when I talk to him, he has a great perspective on business. All right, so he don't have to be your friend for you to have a business relationship with him, and depends on what that business is, right? So nobody's saying you can't talk to a guy for something, but what do you need to be friends for? What you need intimate dinners? What the hell you need to be friends for? So women in general, and this includes my wife, by the way, and I tell women in general because it's not necessarily negative. Women don't need men around unless they can find us useful. And a lot of people don't want to admit that, but if you really, really think about it, women don't need you until they need you. And that's exactly how they view us. That's why it's so easy for them to say they don't need no man. Because if it's not right in front of them on why they need you, they can do without you. Right? I don't need you, but I want you. Okay, so I want you to bang me out so you could be in my orbit. I want you to cook me dinner. I want you to tell me whether I'm seeing this right or that right. I like to be around you because you make me laugh. Right. So women are like, so what she's telling this guy, and this is why he has so much trouble, because he's saying, what do you need these men around you for? And she can't answer that question. So
yeah, I still needed a very intelligent answer to that simple question. I need some kind of justification to that simple question right there for it to make sense.
And she can't
like you said, even even outside of trying to break her back, like he said, like the nurturing part, like I don't want you out here trying to make another motherfucker feel like a superhero.
Exactly.
You got some other grown man with air in his chest because you over here stroking his. Nah, bro, that ain't
I'm serious. And you know what? So see, to me, and this is where I say there's a little bit of willful ignorance, but and maybe there is a little bit of naivete with them because and that's when the women say, "Listen, you don't have to trust him; you could trust me." And then you got to tell her, "Yeah, I don't want a guy looking at you with fucking blood on his teeth."
There's a no. I think there is a knowing there. There is an understanding there when that happens, because the problem comes in when she makes this friend and she start pillow talking with her friend, and he start dirty macking like, man, man, you too fine for him to be acting like that with you, girl.
Exactly.
You too fine for him to be. Yeah, no, you playing like you don't know how this game go. Because if it was the other way around, if it was a female to a male, it would be the same exact thing.
Yeah,
the same exact thing. And there's no way in the world that you're gonna say, like, here's where part of the conversation that me and my lady had was, if I was outside and I changed a lady's tire, would that be a problem? She was like, well, it depends on if she was attractive or not. Like, so you see it. Like, you're gonna be friends with someone you're attracted to, because people generally don't have ugly friends. Like, you don't just be surrounded by people you don't find to be attractive.
and that's on the male side, right?
They're somewhat in your attraction level. So there's no way in the world you can tell me that you putting the air in this man's chest, you're physically attractive, and he not about to. Come on, see, now you put me in a position where I gotta slide on him. I gotta slide on him because he playing with me in my face. I gotta slide on him. You're putting me in a compromise.
You're funny though, but you mentioned it. You said it. Like, for a man, even if you ain't trying to, because a woman knows this. If you're around a lot of attractive women, it's gonna, even if you ain't really pushing up on them, your woman knows that what triggers you. She knows that you might bang them out in any minute if you had the opportunity, even if you don't do it, because they're attractive. So it's almost the same thing as a woman. When she sees a guy who's useful to her, he don't have to be pretty, but she's going to be in this guy's orbit. And we know that every man wants, don't have a woman around unless he can somehow get the opportunity to have some sex with her from time to time. So anyway, so let's hear what more. My man is standing 10 toes down. He ain't listening to that. If this is a skit, this is one of the better ones.
Do another week.
Why you gonna have? Why your mind?
Because I know what niggas on, and if a female don't understand that, it's because she vulnerable, or she willing to herself and be down with whatever that comes behind having male friends.
Mean that,
that's exactly what it means for me.
Trust me.
I don't listen.
And then on top of that, if I feel like that a male want more than just being friends with me, out of respect of you, I shut that down.
Ass, you not that damn interesting to think that a man just want to be friends with you.
That shit was good. I like that. He said, you ain't that interesting. Think a man just wants to be friends with you. That shit's funny as hell.
Hey, word to mommy. Ladies, that guy that's been your friend for 5 years, he's not your friend. No. He's not your friend.
He's just waiting for that vulnerable moment, man. That's it. That is it. He's playing the long game.
More interesting than having sex. Obviously, man,
who said somebody want to have sex?
Any man that ain't willing to come in and take on all this shit I took on with your monkey ass.
True.
That is the fucking truth. What else he around you for? He ain't gonna contribute toward no bills, none of them kids, or none of them extra habits you got going on.
What they got?
You ain't more interested in pussy. You a married woman want to go out here and what? Explore the world?
I didn't say
explore. Sit your hot in the
ass down. Oh man, I think that shit was great, man. He just says, "Sit your monkey ass down."
Here's the problem with this video. There are women all over the world that will see that and completely negate everything that was said, just simply based on his communication style. Just simply based on the way that he was talking, everything he said was negated.
What do you mean?
Once he told her sit your monkey ass, once he said sit your monkey ass down, everything.
Sit your monkey ass down. I mean, so we, just like you said, right on cue. Here's a distance, right? Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I think he actually says he don't have no female friends around. He's trying to show her it's the same deal.
Yeah.
Because
No,
he
because
told
and
her.
I don't.
Good.
I to answer her question, yes, it means the same thing. Because a
Yeah.
man don't need to be outside opening the door for some friend. You don't need to be carrying groceries for your home girl. You don't need to be. You just don't need to be doing all that nice chivalrous bullshit for somebody other than your girl. Like you got your girl in the house cooking dinner and you outside changing another bitch oil. Like what kind of goofy shit is that?
You know, even with this one, Anissa, I mean, think about it. I think he's also the reason why he has the position he has. He's trying to explain to her that he's not going to just be around some beautiful woman just to be her friend. He's going to want, you know, intimately, he's going to want to be knocking it out. So he puts himself outside of that kind of situation. His wife is so adamant that she wants to have male friends. He's trying to figure out what's on your mind. What do you think the man is wanting? You know, so listen, I mean, we're gonna say, well, a woman can have male friends, but you know, sometimes you gotta give them up. I tell you what, I've been married to my woman for a long time. She don't got no whole bunch of men in her orbit. None. You know, it's not that she don't know men, but she ain't nobody calling her up and she having intimate conversations with some asshole. Are you kidding me? You know, that's not happening. And neither am I going back and forth talking to some woman. Yeah, hey, listen, man, I just want to talk to my friend, you know, blah, 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 and tell her, you know, everything's going to be all right in your love life and shit. I got you back. Get out of here. Yeah, what's going on, Tom? How you doing? You know, so anyway, so that's something. So the point I wanted to show that is because the body count conversation kind of touches upon some of that too, because women, you know, it's their box, and they want you to forget about their past. But there's some arguments back and forth. And guess who? I got a nice clip from a guy from Psych. I don't know if you ever seen that white dude, guy from Psych Hacks. You ever see Psych Hacks?
No.
I got a clip of that. Once we get to him, you'll understand where he's coming from. And it's actually spot on. The guy is really, really good in terms of the psychology of certain things. And he talks about why men, you know, consider body count an issue. And he said, you know, he doesn't only say that. He says why, and his explanation is pretty good. He says, "Oh, good time saying it's a different world."
It's a matter. So now we go back to the question you were asking earlier. Is this intentional ignorance? Even if you explain the why as to why it matters, do they care?
Well, you know, that's true. I mean, she should. Yeah, you know, the issue also in a relationship, man, is if you have to convince your significant other and your spouse to do things that that you need them to do for you, then you're in a bad place, right? I mean, you really are. I mean, some of the things that, and I can only be anecdotal. A lot of the things my wife does for me is because she wants to, not because I demand her to do it. You know, so if you got to have a whole bunch of demands to keep somebody in place, then your shit's in rocky ground. You know, it really is, and so you could count that shit, man. If everything you need your woman to do, or vice versa, is based on you yelling and screaming and having a hissy fit, man or woman,
And
you got it.
and listening to you, I think that you have the ability of understanding the difference between a demand and communicating what you're expecting.
Exactly. Yes, I do.
Because there is definitely a clear difference there. Anyone that has to demand something from their partner, you're definitely not with the right person. But
Yeah,
if like there's been plenty of times where I sit down with my lady and be like, yo, you know what would really make me happy is if you do this one thing before I get home from work. There's one particular thing I ask her to do before I get home from work. And every time she does it, it makes me happy. And when she does it, it's just like, damn, it was just one thing I needed you to do. I'm not gonna be mean or antagonize her or anything for it. It's just always that if you do this one thing, it makes the rest of my day so much better. I appreciate you so much more for doing this. But if you don't do it, cool, I can do it myself. But it just makes me appreciate the fact that you were thinking about me. Like you looked at the clock knowing that I was going to be home in 30 minutes and you knocked this one thing out.
Right. And well, you know,
so yeah, this demand and expectations is definitely different.
So let's have a question. I mean, you know, so you know, did body count ever matter to women in terms of how men view them? And you know, I don't want to say yes. I want a woman to answer that or think about it. You know, did it ever matter to them? Because in the past, right, I got married in 87, but even in 87, I think the men in the West, because even though I'm a black man in America, but I'm a man in the West, I don't think men back then were thinking that we were going to find a virgin to marry. Even way back when. You know, even way back when. Not that your woman had to be some kind of slut like they slutting it out now, but the fact is that wasn't like a prerequisite. You know what? There's got to be blood on the sheet, you know, or else this marriage is not consummated. So, but did body count matter to women? I think back in the day, I know it did, because a lot of women, whether they had a boyfriend or not, they weren't slutting it out the way they're slutting it out now, right? And then coming on that we didn't have the internet, then coming on the internet and bragging from the top. I have 500 bodies, I have this much bodies, and my passion matter, blah, blah, blah. So I got this one lady, she's a little older, so she has a perspective of what body count means. So I have a couple of clips of her, and I want to play one right now. Let me go ahead and share it. Let me get rid of this one. All right. Wait a minute.
How many people your other date has slept with? I'm going to be straight up honest with you. Women get more hate than men do on this topic. Society is literally built that way. And sleeping with somebody should not be shameful. It's healthy, it's normal, it's natural. It's literally the reason why you're sitting here on TikTok today. What is important is communicating about sleeping together and getting tested.
Society is built that way. No, society is not built that way. Men and women care about different things, and that just is, right? The reason that a high female body count becomes a problem is because men care about your body count. They care about whether you've been promiscuous. And the reason that a high male body count generally isn't a problem is because women will tell you in their own words that they don't care about it. So it devalues women in the marketplace to have the high body count. It doesn't devalue men in the same way because women don't care. It just is. In the same way that guys care about one thing and women care about something else on a broad range of topics, body count is just one of those things. Now, you can say it's a double standard. That double standard doesn't exist because society told you that it should. The double standard exists because men and women care about different things, and they set the tone of the marketplace based on their likes, dislikes, wishes. So, yes.
So let me stop that for a second. I think one of the problems that we have is that I don't consider, when people use the term double standard, I don't think it's a double standard at all. I just think it's a different standard. Men and women have different standards of how we view the world. It's just not one size fits all. And so double standards have the connotation that, you know, the issue should be looked upon like a monolith, like we should look at the issue the same way, and we just don't. Good.
I think, excuse me, I think the connotation behind double standard is where the problem is, because double standards exist all across life.
Yeah,
there are double standards based on double standards based on income, based on religion, based on gender. There are double standards based on all different aspects of life.
Okay,
but I think that people just completely focus on the negative of a double standard and try to erase it, right? Because people have a way of picking which double standards they want to use, right? Because the double standard of a man should never put his hands on a woman. Women are okay with accepting that as a double standard. That is perfectly fine as a double standard. But body count is a problem as a double standard because it doesn't benefit them.
No, I hear that. But let's just look at I don't think that when you talk about money, for example, a man with money and a man without, right? And how they get viewed, a man accomplished, a man who's accomplished, and a man who isn't accomplished. Well, the standard is accomplishment, or the standard is money. One has it, one doesn't, right? And one gets treated differently based on accomplishments and money, but the baseline is still the same, right? So, but the sexual encounter between a man and a woman, that encounter is different for a woman than it is for a man. That's
Do you
why.
think the success? Do you think the success matters more, or the money matters more?
No. What I'm saying is when the fact that a guy gets more bennies because he's successful than the guy who isn't successful, or the guy who has more money gets more access than the man who doesn't. Not even just because he's paying for it. Is that? But the standard is the money, and the standard is success, and how people look at it and measure it. So if I treat you better because you are successful and you have money, and I treat a guy who could be equally as nice or even a better person than you, but I don't treat him as nice as I treat you because he don't have money, it's a double standard. Because the standard is the money. But women and men in a sexual encounter is not the same, right? So the standard is different because the standard for a woman who's the internal, her organs are internal, she takes the energy from the man and she absorbs that shit. You know, men dissipate the energy towards the woman, and the way we deal with that is different. You know, let me put it to you this way. When's the last time you heard a man come up here at 30 years old? Let's just say a guy got a lot of box, and he's up here on any panel, any social media, anywhere, or your friend or boy, he says, you know what, 100, man, I'm so traumatized, man. I had just so much pussy, man. I don't know how to. I don't know how to. I have never heard a man say that. I have never heard a man say that in my entire life. But I've heard women who've been promiscuous, and by the time they get 30, 31, they're all fucking burnt out. They got all these different men's energy in them with nowhere to dissipate it. So they're on drugs. They got trauma. They got all kinds of bullshit. They have babies. They have a lot of shit from 17 different men. And then, you know, and then and they need therapy and shit like that. So when you peel back the onion, I don't care. Let's just take sexual assault out of it. Because that's trauma for men or women. Let's put that up.
Mm-hmm.
When a woman gets on this TikTok and social media, wherever's that, when she starts talking about trauma, if I peel back that onion, I can guarantee you that trauma is at the tip of some man's penis.
Almost guaranteed.
Almost guaranteed.
Almost guaranteed.
You know, no matter what it is, you peel back that onion. So it's a different standard for men. I think this was my
now. Okay, so are you opposed to that theory of applying to men as well? Because there are plenty of men that's in jail behind pussy.
No, that's but not because they were traumatized. It's because they did something stupid. They killed a man because of it, something like that. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, but that's not real. I'm just talking about how it affects your hormones, men to women.
Okay. I see what you're saying, man. I see what you're saying.
You know, like for example, for men, post-nut clarity is after the dopamine hit and all that kind of stuff. Then you get clarity after you. But you know, almost every man does it, and almost every woman understands. That's why some of them are hesitant. Is he going to still love me tomorrow? You know, that kind of stuff.
My personal opinion, post-nut clarity is the same as women's intuition to me.
Well, you don't get it. Okay. What you mean?
Because 9 times out of 10, any man that says that he's experienced post-nut clarity, whatever clarity you have after you bust your nut, you probably had it before you hit it. But you were so focused on hitting that you didn't care about the clarity. You just didn't care.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But it's not like you all of a sudden got magically enlightened once you busted a nut. You just didn't care. Now that you got what you came here for, now that you got what you came here for, the ignorance that was already in your mind is now just like,
right. You look at that woman, right? So, but doesn't that make the difference that after you have a chick and you actually get what you want, it's a noticeable difference as to whether you still like the chick afterwards and you want to have something more with her, right? And stuff like that afterwards. That's why women in the past used to be kind of reticent to give you sex because they understood, will you still love me tomorrow? They made a whole record of that shit. You know, if you ever hear the Cheryl's record, will you still love me tomorrow? It's all about her giving the guy some ass. You know, tonight, the loving's in your eyes, but will you still love me tomorrow? Yes, it was a controversial record, man, in 65, because women understand that once she gives you the goodies. Now, the women today don't give a shit whether you like them or not. A lot of them don't. But just like same token, right? If a woman keeps inviting you back Your ego could get in the way, but the truth of the matter is she's starting to catch feelings. She's starting to catch feelings, right? And some guys could pick up on it, some guys can't. You know, so what's it being? He wants me to mute when I'm not talking to you. So anyway, for whatever.
No, that's on me. That's on me. That's on me.
Okay. And so the point really is, you know, I just think that the standards are different. I mean, it's just a little point. It's a little subtle point. And, you know, we don't have to go crazy over it. But I look at women who take sex, and that's another reason why body count matters. And here's another thing. Part of our conversation is when body count matters and when it doesn't. If I'm just there for a short period of time and it's my time, I don't give a shit what a woman's body count is. Right? The only reason when body count matters is if you want to cuff that woman and you want to make her yours. And that's different for every man, you know, but it's not zero. Most men don't have the yardstick that you could never have been with a man before for you to be my wife. When's the last time I haven't heard a man say that? You know, men don't say that shit no more. We don't get credit for the fact that we're not insecure about the fact that you got bust down before. We're not. Most men just aren't. And I give that credit to most men. We say, okay, you got banged out before, okay. But are you a slut, man? Does all my buddies felt the inside of your mouth? You know, that's different. You know, I mean, so when a woman
said too many men know what the roof of your mouth feel like.
Yeah. You know, that's different. I mean, that's just different. And you hanging out. So most men don't want their woman. This is me off the cuff. Most men want to know that their woman, they don't lose respect from the men that they respect by having you around. You know, a lot of us like the respect of our peers and the respect from the men that we admire. You know, I'm not going to take some honey who's been in a circuit somewhere and then claim her as mine, you know, when everybody's been there. Right? That's a lot of women move from one area to another if they blowed out a place. You know,
imagine going to Walmart to go grocery shopping, and every aisle y'all go down, she said, "Hey Richard, hi Kyle, hey Kevin, what the fuck is happening right now?"
Exactly. How you moving in the world? If every man could come up to you and get a hug and shit, come on. You know, what's going on?
Because you would feel very uncomfortable if we were in that very same store and every aisle that we went down, it was Ashley, Kelly, Keisha, Tanisha. Like they can act like they don't care. But here's what I hear. Like I'm hearing what you're saying. Like they can act like they don't care. Women operate in this duality, right? They don't want to deal with a man that can't get other women.
Yes.
But they don't want to know that you have the ability of getting other women.
Exactly.
Like, it's like you have to be a virgin that knows how to fuck when it comes to women. Like they want to see that you can get a woman. They want to see that you can get a woman in your face.
Right.
But they don't really want you to be entertaining enough for them to want to stay in your. They operate in a duality.
A lot of them do. But I just think again. So let me just let her finish talking because this is a short clip.
If you're a girl and you have that high body count, you're going to be devalued because guys don't like it. It just is. So you can either decide to not care or you can decide to care. That's up to you. That part's up to you. By the way, I think it's perfectly within someone's right to ask. That person may or may not answer you. You may not get an answer you like, but it's perfectly within your right to ask, in my view. And I think all of this has stemmed from.
Before she goes too far, let me ask you at 100. Not me ask you. You know what? I can only talk about me. You can tell me if you want to. I've never in my life asked a woman about her body count. Ever. That includes my wife. I never. Matter of fact, with my wife, and I've said this story on this BMU, and they gave me some shit for this before. My wife was going to tell me some shit about her past. And I told her, say, hey, stop. Let me stop you right there. I don't want to know none of that shit. I don't want you to put that shit in my head or what you did with another nigga and shit. I said, I don't need that. I said, because my mind is vivid enough as it is. I don't need you to give me you don't need to bona fide the facts. What you gonna tell me? You know, but go ahead. Yeah.
So this is the part where something you said a second ago I agree with. If I plan on taking you serious, it matters. If I don't plan on taking you serious, it doesn't matter.
Would you ask? Good.
Yes. Okay. That is a part of getting to know someone. Because for me, it's not even a matter of like, it's not even really like necessarily like how many people have you had sex with. Like, there's a matter of like, what does your decision making look like?
Right.
How do you decipher between someone you're actually attracted to and someone you're not attracted to?
Right.
Are you just giving the box away to people because they asked for it? Well, okay. What happens in the situation where you're pressured, where you feel like you're pressured to giving away the box?
Right.
Are you able to fight your way out of it, or are you just going to give it away? Because there's so many different answers there's so many different questions that are being answered by having this conversation. Because a great example, if you have a male friend, you're over at his house, y'all get drunk. Do you have the discernment to be able to say, this is not okay, I need to get up and go home? Or are you just going to fall into the pressure and say, oh, I got drunk and I just didn't want to make him mad? And I was, see what I'm saying? Like there are a lot of things that get answered by asking that question.
Okay. Let me ask you this, and you don't have to be, let me ask it in more general terms. Is the way she answered more important than the answer itself? Like, for example, if you ask a woman about her body count and she got extremely mad and started throwing these ad hominem attacks about your insecurity and all that, even if she acquiesced and finally tell you, isn't part of that vetting how much angst she had for you asking in the first place?
100%.
All right.
100%. Your ability to answer, your willingness to answer the question or not answer the question is already answering something that that's it. Now we're not even talking about sex. Now we're talking about conflict resolution. You don't like the question. How are you going to handle it? Are you going to start getting loud and belligerent, or are you going to express, hey, I don't like this question? Now, see, you're answering a bunch of other questions just by asking just by that one question.
And the reason why I ask, because we're going to get back to that, by the way, in this reaction video I want to show. We're going to get back to, because one of the reasons why, by the time my wife and my fiance at the time, got to the point about the sexual past, was, of course, she never asked me. I mean, she didn't even come close to even caring out, whether I did or not. I was comfortable enough around her to see how she moved in the circles that she was in, the circles that I was in, that when she was telling me, I could tell. When she wanted to tell me the so-called confession, I could feel it in her spirit that, she just wanted to kind of be honest about some of the past and all that kind of stuff. And I told her, based on me knowing her at that point, because it was, we were courting for at least maybe 4 months or so before that came up. That's how, I really don't need to know, because I know that you wasn't stroking the whole basketball team. I know that whatever encounters you had was just normal encounters that people have in passing through life and going from adolescence to adulthood. So you had a couple of encounters. I don't care how many there, because I know she wasn't no slut, right? Because you could feel that. Just like a woman could tell a guy who don't get no pussy from a guy who's a gigolo. I can tell a woman who's loose and fast from a woman who's a little bit chaste. She doesn't have to be a virgin. So, I kind of let her off the hook. So, but even in all my past encounters with girlfriends and stuff like that, I never really, and it's not like I'm the biggest confidence guy. I just never really touched upon that at all. But I understand why men ask. But I mean, I don't think a man needs to be gaslit. I think a woman should take it almost like a compliment that a man cares about what you did. Right? Because if you're going to be my lady, my wife, or whatever, you goddamn right I'm going to sit in judgment of you if I'm going to accept you into my fold. Just like you're going to judge me. Am I a good man? What kind of father I might be, what kind of provider I might be, what kind of protector, what kind of this, that, and the other, the nurturer and all that shit. Women are going to judge us. So don't you tell me I can't judge you by how many dicks you suck. Because that says something. So to me, like I said, for my wife, I just said, listen, I don't need to know all that kind of shit because my imagination is you had one lover or two lovers, right? Okay. Or if you had 20 or 100, that's a character thing. But if you had one lover, man, I don't need to know that. I know that he was busting you, he was grabbing your hair, slapping your ass, doing all kinds of crazy shit. Why do I need to know that? Why do I need to know? I don't need to know that. So she said, stop that big ass. I'm sincere about that shit. The big ass, stop lying, pain. I want to know. He wants to know. Thanks for the $10. The Black Man Unfiltered Network. You know what? The last thing I told, we can move on from this anecdotal thing. You know what I told my wife after I said, don't have to tell me? And this is what BMU and guys got on my case. I said, listen, if you learn some shit, I better get the benefits of that shit. If you learn some shit out there, don't be holding back on me and all that shit, man. I want it all. If you some kind of trampoline fucking salesman, man, don't be holding back on me, when we doing it. That's what I say.
Hey, I ain't mad at that. Don't go out there and go learn something new and act like you don't know how to do it.
Don't be bullshit me. You know what? Okay, you got to know. So I don't need to know the details, but if you got some skills, I better get the benefits of that shit. Especially if I'm
so like the double standard, different standard. I think they're just like synonyms. You know what I'm saying? Like they're close
no,
to the
you're
same
right.
because
I agree with you. It's not much. I'm trying to draw that fine line, but you're absolutely right. It's nothing.
No, because as I'm sitting here listening to you, the same way that men create the conversation about body count, women are creating the conversation about income level.
Yes.
Yes. Men don't care about income level the way women do. Women don't care about body count the way that men do. So it's just,
from that standpoint,
I see what you're saying.
Yes, and I see what you're saying. That's why I just kind of brought it up the way my mind works on a situation. But it's true. It's nothing that I wouldn't get into a full-fledged argument over the difference. It's just that, there's, because for the most part, 90% of it is the same. What's my man talking about? Just because
you're a woman doesn't mean you're going to be the greatest mother. Play Tupac said,
yeah, even though his mother,
mama was a crack fiend, I still love you, mama.
Yeah. And then his step aunt passed away. In Cuba. What's her name?
That was his godmother.
Yeah, godmother. Whatever. Somebody put step on there, but because they had the last name. But yeah, I remember her though, man. I remember the incident. When she went on trial and when they broke her out. I remember all that. I was still young, but I remember the details of that shit. That was crazy. And I didn't know of course I lost track of her, but I knew she fled to Cuba and she finally passed away, 70 years old. She's relatively young. I mean, in comparison. Anyway, all right, so we hit my girl. I like this lady too, man. Her content is not really that bad.
Just this lack of willingness to just see the differences between men and women and just acknowledge them. Somehow women find it like they've been taught that it's offensive, that you should be able to exist in society as a man. And it's not realistic. You're not a man. He's not a woman. Men and women care about different things. That's it. It's not society, honey. It just is. Society tells you. What is society? It's people. So when you go up to a woman and you say, do you care that he slept with 50 women? And the woman says, no, I don't. And then you go up to a guy and you say, do you care that she slept with 50 people? He says, yeah. And you get that result multiplied across the board because that just is how it reads most of the time. That's not society doing something. That's just reality about what men and women care about, and it's different.
There you go. And she's absolutely correct. It's just different. So I have more of I have another clip from her as well that I wanted to play right after that because it's kind of variation on the theme. But, you know, again, she's adamant about it, but you could tell she's a little older. That woman's around maybe 45, 50, maybe a little younger than that. But, you know, she's probably back in the day when women were a little bit more chaste, and you could tell in the way she comes off. But I like what she says because I of course, I agree with her. Okay, so let me play. Excuse me. Let me share this one so we could just keep going because there's some good conversation she has.
Uh-oh. What is it? Let's find out.
There's only one ex that I've been back and forth with.
That's toxic. Is it a comfort thing?
Yeah.
It is, right?
In the most untoxic way in the entire world. This is going to sound really bad. If you hook up with the same person, it's not an added number to your list. So they think that we're coming back, but in reality, we're saving a number.
Wow, that's crazy.
I've never admitted that.
Let's say it again.
In general, just sometimes the reason why women go back to men past ex, a past fling, is because they don't want to add another number. They want to just recycle the number and it stays the same.
How you guys think? What if a man said that though, right? Now he's...
And that's fucked. I'm kidding.
Okay, what do you think about what she said about a woman, you know, recycling the dude so she doesn't increase her body count?
See, this is that duality that they live in.
All right.
You're going to go backwards and recycle because you don't want to add another number, but you're going to tell me that I shouldn't ask you about that number. How does that make sense? You're doing something to protect the number that you don't want me to ask about.
Because she understands, well, you know what? I'm not mad at her because she's making an admission that it actually matters to her. You know what I'm saying? You know, the reason why she's doubling back with that same guy is because, let me tell you, here's another thing. It's great to be in that position if you're a guy. It's really great to be in that position. A woman has her own life, but she come back to you and just give you some box just because you're safe. You know, you ain't increasing her body count. She trusts you a little bit. You know what? You don't have a relationship, but she's going to bang you out just because she needs to get some shit off and she's using it. And you sit back and say, yeah, okay, you know, I really feel dirty, but okay. I really feel dirty about this, but okay, you can use me, you know. But
that goes to me saying that question answers a lot of other questions, because if I'm having a conversation with her to find out, oh, I just go back to my old work. Oh yeah, no, I can't take you serious, because when me and you are dealing with each other, you and your old work have a connection that's clearly not broken. Like,
that's right.
There's something that's being told in this conversation.
But that only matters to you. But that matters to you if you want to make something with that woman, right? That only matters if you want to.
And that's the only way. That's the only way that this conversation matters. Okay. And I agree with you. That's the only way that this conversation matters. If it's not someone that you plan on taking serious, you don't even need to be broaching this conversation. This shouldn't even be a part of your dialogue when you're having a conversation.
This takes me down another path with women who have babies by other guys, right? Because you know, social media will have you believe that, you know, a woman has a kid with a guy, you know, and they're estranged, they're not together. Again, she's giving this guy something that, you know, is special, a connection that's a lifetime bond. It's not easy. It wouldn't be hard or far-fetched that guy can get her back in the bed. You know, that's another reason why men should be, you know, I mean, of course, men are going to have women who have children. It's never going to go to zero. But you need to understand the risks. Even if you're on the other side, because most of us, and I don't have a kid out of wedlock, and you know, I look at myself, and I never really thought I was one of those select guys, but I've had a couple of girlfriends that no matter what was going on, they would give me some back, and I didn't even have kids. I mean, no matter what they would do, you know, I was able to. So most men who was sexually active, they have that one or two ladies that if you're in the same situation, no matter what she got going on, she's gonna give you some man. You know, and that doesn't work for every man, but it's there. You know, so if a woman has a baby by the guy, he's got access to her for the rest of her life. There doesn't have to be sexual access.
I don't necessarily like that narrative. Maybe it's anecdotal. Yeah, maybe it's my perspective on that is anecdotal, but I don't know, man. I hate that.
None of this shit is 100%, right? If none of it's 100%, but let's take sex out of it, right? If a woman has a baby by a guy, he has access to her, and access means different things. Access means that they got to share, especially if he's involved. They got to share that kid one way or the other. And one of the things that men and women can do with each other, because they have access, they could change the mood. They could change that person's mood depending on what the conversation's about. You know, especially if it has to do with a kid and the decision that has to be made and all that shit. We're getting off the beaten path. But I also understand that what this lady said about going back to the man that she's been with, and this is a side note, and anybody who has a girl with kids, I'm not talking about you. A woman who might not be in a relationship, but she has a kid by a dude and they broke up, she views that guy, especially if they're still cordial with each other, she views that man as a safe man to have sex with. She does. You know what I'm saying? If she's, instead of going out, you know, putting her kid in harm's way because you have a new man and all this shit, you know, one guy this guy, okay, we don't have a relationship, but you know what? I got this itch I need to have scratched. Joe, what you doing? I was just hanging out. Hey, listen, I want to come by and, you know, I want to come by. That shit happens all the time. And so all I'm just trying to say is women are fickle that way. And a lot of guys kind of miss it. So when this lady says, you know what, I got this guy, maybe I don't have a kid by him, but he's safe. I can give this guy, you know, whatever I'm doing, I'll circle back with this guy. Doesn't increase my body count. And I can get my rocks off because I like him. I just like him enough. That shit happens. That shit happens all the time. And so this conversation with Bila, it'd be nice to hear what she says about that. Because I don't think I just think that's a fact. I don't think that's negative or positive. I just think that shit happens all the time. So let's hear what the conversation goes into.
Okay. All right. So this is the body count conversation we've had a million times. And everyone's always like, oh, what's the difference? What's different? Because men care, right? And women don't care about the male body count generally. And I mean, within reason, right? And guys do care about the female body count, but women know it. They know it. We all know. So there's like a deceit that happens, right? Oh, well, I want to have like some, you know, friends with benefits situation. So let me go back to my ex, because then if my body count is 8, it's still 8. Listen, honey, it's still nasty what you're doing. It's still nasty. You might not have added
Okay, 100. Is it really nasty? Is it really nasty?
If it's not nasty, it's lazy.
It's what?
Lazy.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't depend. It doesn't depend on what the woman's doing outside of that guy.
It's showing. No, okay. It's showing your ability to want something and not have to work for it.
Okay.
It's showing your ability to think that because you popped up and you told someone you want something from them, you should be able to get it. Like, how do you know that you're not reaching out to an ex that's in a new relationship? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's showing that you have. Yeah, you're fucking lazy. It's not nasty, it's lazy.
Hey, what does that say about the guy saying okay? That says he's kind of effed up too.
Hey, man.
But you're right,
and
though.
again,
I agree with that.
Again,
That's a good answer. It's a good answer.
Different standards, right? Because for a guy, because we know how much work it takes to go get a new one. We know how much work it takes to go put a new one on our list. So if you got one that's already on the list and you're going back to it, for a guy, all right, cool.
There you go. So you're saying,
and then on top of it, so like a male to male perspective, right? So if I have a friend and I'm finding out this is how he got it going, there's also this level of like I don't want to say respect, but I'll use that word for the sake of this conversation.
Okay.
There's a certain level of respect for you to be able to do something for her to continue spinning the block. All right, like
Yeah.
you,
Okay.
all right, big dog, you got something going for yourself for this one to keep spinning the block back on you.
I agree with that. I agree. I agree with that. There's something that she wants to keep the connection there, just in case. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is saying, you know, some women have a forever connection to the man they've had children with. I agree with that.
But refuses to be in a healthy relationship with him though. That doesn't sound crazy.
That part of it is crazy.
You are more concerned with your happiness. You're more concerned with your happiness and being single rather than working out whatever is going on between the two of y'all, so y'all can be a family. Versus you just deciding to roll back whenever you need your back scratched. Stop.
Exactly. Yeah.
Stop. That's lazy. That is lazy and entitled. Nah.
Hey man, that's good. That's good. I agree with that.
Number, but you're still like going and spreading the goods for somebody that you shouldn't be spreading the goods for. And that's nasty. By the way, friends with benefits, also nasty, disgusting, right? And it's just a reality that when guys do that stuff, we may look at it and be like, ew, for a second, but it's not going to be a deal breaker. But when women behave that way, like it turns men's stomachs. It just does. Like, you don't have to like the double standard, but you have to accept the reality of the double standard. If you want to date and you want to, be well received by good men, don't do that nasty stuff. Ew. Right? And then it's like, what? You're just like going back to the ex. If they find that out, trust me, if they find that out, you're saying, oh, the number doesn't count. They'll quickly add a little one, carry the one. They'll be adding up the numbers anyway, honey. It's still disgusting. Also, it's if they find out you went back to the ex, it's particularly nasty because now there's like a situation going on there where that guy's around. He's like popping up over and over again. Then they're thinking, oh, was it that?
Yeah, you agree with her on that point?
For the most part, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That good in bed that like he's worth the rotation? Is there some sort of chemistry? That guy will not be allowed within 500 feet of your interactions ever. So if you're like, oh, but he's just a friend, just a friend that you went back and did the nasty with over and over, I don't think so, love. Ugh, nasty. Right? So good on her that she knows the body count matters. Bad on her that she's like trying to, why you got to be disgusting? Why do people got to be disgusting? Just don't do it. How about, I don't understand this need to like fill the gap all the time. Why you got to do, it's obviously meaningless to you. Doesn't mean anything. So what's the point? Like, how did we get to a point where women are able to do stuff like this sexually that doesn't mean anything? And it's just like, whatever. Ew.
Oh man, that's my girl right there, man. So, she says she's right on point. I mean, there you go. But that's just the way. I mean, that's the way it is. That is the way it is. So I mean, okay. So, and I got a couple more clips here, but I just wanted to show you a woman who says, "Hey, body counts matters, and men are not just going crazy when they say it." There's women who do recognize it. One who wouldn't be fooling around, and we saw the blonde chick who actually would be fooling around, right? And understands that body count matters to her, where she'll circle the block as opposed to getting a new guy. Now, I give her a little bit of credit for that laziness, because a pretty woman like that could easily just get a new man no matter what, and just open herself up to more, Go ahead. What you wait, couldn't she easily get? Who's turning down that box? Who's turning down that box?
Bro.
Yeah, okay, give me one. Go ahead.
So there are two scenarios here. There is spin the block for your old work, which is lazy. And then there's three. I'm sorry, there's three. There's spin the block for your old work, which is lazy. There's go find a new one, which is nasty. Or the third option is, how about we just take a break for a minute?
Okay.
Because like she said at the end of it, people have this need of filling the gap.
Okay.
Right? So people across the world, men and women alike, they break up, and for men, whenever you break up with a girl, what do they say? The best way to get over a new one, best way to get over an old one is to get under a new one.
That's right. That's
not
been my philosophy. That's my philosophy.
And that don't work. It don't work.
Yeah. Hey, nigga, are you allowed up here, BMU? Are you allowed? Is he allowed up here? What up?
I'm can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you. What's up, man?
My son's football game is halftime. Listen, man. It's a simple question. Hold on. Okay. It's a simple question. If I have a key in my pocket and it opens all the locks, that is called a master key, correct?
Right.
However, if I have a lock that any key can fit in, that's a messed up lock. It's a messed up lock in it.
That's right.
That's what we're dealing with today. That's the difference. It's just simple. It's simple. If any key can go in those locks, it's a messed up lock. These women are messed up, man. And women are more emotional when it comes to penis. And I heard you guys talking about men in jail over pussy. Men are in jail over pussy because men are territorial, not because they can't get no more pussy. They territorial. Like if I'm investing in this ass and I'm paying these bills, and you're gonna go out and take the pussy that I'm paying and leasing right now, because it ain't your pussy, it's just your turn, and you paying the lease on this pussy, and somebody else fucking it, it's a problem.
Yeah, it is a problem. You know what's funny though? You mentioned that though. I told I told guys, man, don't leave bitter women behind. Can you hear me? I told guys, don't leave bitter women behind. But I told women, it's dangerous for you leaving bitter men behind. Depending on that guy, it's really dangerous for certain women to leave guys behind, man. They take it to the next level. And we've seen that. We have hundreds. A woman try to put you in jail, try to do this, take your stuff, your possessions. But some of these guys just go right to the extreme. If I can't have you, nobody can. That shit happens all too often. And a lot of ladies know the kind of guy they have, and they don't know how to back off. I gotta be soft shit. I gotta soft shoe this guy. If I make him feel like a piece of shit, he ain't gonna let that go. So women gotta be careful with that. Anyway, but so we have a little bit more stuff to go. I got this video by Psych Hack. So if you're around, listen to it, BMU, because that's the next one. And this guy is right on the money, because the question for him is, he says, I can answer the reason why men care so much about body count, but some of them are looking at it the wrong way. And his video is a pretty good one, because I think I see where he's coming from. And I never saw it before, but I agree with what he says for the most part, because I think that's the way I handle it. Not to give myself a pat on the back, but I feel vindicated based on what he said. So let's go ahead and see where that one comes from. All right, so let me go ahead and write to it, because we only have 2 more videos left, and we could talk about it, because there's a lot of comments and stuff we can get out of this. All right, so let me go ahead and share it. I think he's right on the money about a lot of stuff, and you can tell me whether you think so too. All right.
To Orion Taraban, and this is Psych Hacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is why men get jealous of their women's past. So this is something that comes up fairly frequently in my sessions with folks, both in my private practice and in my consultations. And it's very troubling for some guys. It really eats them up inside. They learn a few details of their woman's sexual history. They extrapolate mental fantasies based on those details. And these fantasies more or less come to torture these individuals. And if they're not careful, they can act out of that pain and punish their women for what they did before they even met them. Obviously, not a constructive behavior in a relationship. However, it is a real thing. It can really bother men. And I'm here to explain why this is the case. This is important because where understanding is, anger is not. To let go of the bitterness, men must first understand what is happening inside of them. So here we go. First of all, you have to understand that men don't feel this way about all women's sexual history. Guys, think about it. If you were just to hook up with a woman, if you had a brief fling or a friends with benefits situation, I doubt that you would be emotionally bothered by her sexual past. If anything, her sexual past was kind of an asset to you because it allowed ease of access to a sexual relationship with her. If she had...
All right, so far, you agree with that? 100.
So far, 100%. So far, 100%.
Okay, yeah, I wanted him to get that point out. That's exactly, I agree with that. If we're just passing through, I don't give a shit what you did before.
Never had a casual sexual relationship before, it would have been more difficult for you to engage her in one for the first time.
That's true.
So on some level, her sexual history made it easier for you to enjoy a sexual relationship with her. And I doubt that you would be bothered by that. So this phenomenon in men only occurs in certain relationships. And what relationships are those? It occurs when a man has become emotionally bonded with a particular woman. And why does this occur? It can't be the mate guarding behavior that evolutionary psychologists like to talk about. In this case, there's no one to guard her from. Let's assume that she hasn't done anything untoward in the relationship and that, in fact, she is as loyal as she can be. So why does the jealousy flare up about her past? The answer is that when a man becomes emotionally bonded with a woman, he begins to do things that he wouldn't do with other women, women with whom he was only sleeping. He begins to make commitments and sacrifices. Maybe he moves her in. Maybe he proposes or gets married. Time, energy, money, and opportunity are all sacrificed on the altar of that relationship. And this is not something he ordinarily does. This is not usual behavior. So his mind, observing this behavior, is in a bit of a quandary. It's like...
So from that standpoint, you agree with that too, right? I mean, I do. I agree with what he's saying so far, right? When we choose a woman, now it matters because she's my woman. All right, and I'm doing shit for her. So he's saying a lot of good stuff. Right?
Like, this isn't like you, man. What's going on with you? This is the state of cognitive dissonance, and it's not a very pleasant place to be. So people generally try to resolve that dissonance one way or another, usually unconsciously, in order to avoid the negative emotionality of that state. And the way that most men unconsciously resolve the dissonance in this situation is believing some variant of, I'm making this huge investment and this inordinate commitment to this particular woman, things that I've never done before for any other woman, because this woman is special. She's not like the other women. She's different. And her difference is the legitimate basis for my different behavior. Yeah, it makes sense that I would treat a special person specially. And what makes her special, among other things, is that she doesn't do the kinds of things that other women, like the women I've casually slept with, do. Therefore, I feel good about the commitment and sacrifice I'm making. It's warranted in this particular case. Now, before I go any further, if you're liking what you're hearing, please consider sending this episode to someone who might benefit from its message. It's word-of-mouth referrals like this that really help to grow the channel. And if you're thinking about going to grad school, be sure to check out my top-rated GRE self-study program at stellargre.com. You can use the coupon code PSYCH for 10% off all membership plans. Now, resolving dissonance in this way is how men really fuck themselves up, because almost none of that is true. Think about it. At a certain point, you reach an age when some of the women that you've just casually slept with, they get involved with other guys. They get married to these men and start families. And you're probably not thinking, wow, what a lucky guy. I wish I could change places with that dude. More likely, you think something like, wow, I can't believe a guy put a ring on that finger. No jealousy at all. But here's the thing. Other guys that your woman may have hooked up with in the past, are probably thinking the same thing about you. That's not a great feeling. No guy.
You have something, you got to say something on that one, that point?
Oh my God. They will never understand it. They will never understand that.
He's on point, man. He's on point, man.
That
All right.
to them, that entire thought process that he's talking about is nothing but insecurity. They will never understand that.
Yeah, but he's talking from a male's point of view that a man needs to understand that about his woman, or else he's going to be in a world of hurt.
No, and that's the thing. I think men do understand that, but women, they don't care. They are intentionally ignorant when it comes to that, because that's when the shaming techniques. Oh, you're just insecure. That shouldn't matter. You how you feel about me should matter more than they will never understand that shit.
Well, I agree with you there, but here's the thing though, that a man, and this is why it matters to a man, but if you hear him follow through, he's saying that we all have women that, who, if they're not virgins, somebody's out there saying, I can't imagine that you put a ring on that, because I know what I did to her, hey man, so that bothers some guys. That's why body count does matter to men, because they know what other men might be thinking about. But here you go, let's go.
Wants to think that his special little lady was some other guy's slut for the night. Guys, the truth is, and this can be a bitter pill to swallow, your woman isn't special. She's just special to you. That specialness may only exist in your own mind. To other men, she may just be a willing, warm body. Men really get themselves in a pickle when they attempt to resolve their dissonance by believing that their women are different and that they would never do things that other women would do. A woman is a woman, man. And a woman will do what a woman will do. And expecting that your particular sweetheart or wife or fiance is going to be the exception is probably not grounded in reality. And the pain that results from coming into contact with that truth is not her fault. That's something that you're potentially doing to yourself through your beliefs and expectations, and you need to find a way to get around that. Now, if the scales fall from your eyes and you begin to see your woman as just another woman, maybe you won't marry her or make big, uncharacteristic commitments or sacrifices.
See, I think we'll finish. I think he's right on key, man. And that's why when I first heard this, when I was looking for the research for this particular thing, I'm saying that's exactly where I was. My woman was special to me, but I knew she was, here's what I say. Let me put it from a non-sexual standpoint. One of the things I get a lot of problems with young folks and shit, they say, listen, you've been out of the game for a long time. You don't know nothing about women. And there could be nothing further from the truth, since I've been up close and personal with a woman for the last 38 years. And the key is that when my wife said I do, to me, she never abdicated her woman card. She's been a woman every day of our existence together. My wife has been a woman. Now, I'm not talking about a sexual thing with outside people and all that, but I had to navigate the kind of person she is, her mentality, how women think and all that shit. That shit doesn't change because they get married. They might change the way they behave with you and some of the compromises you have to make to be in a relationship. But so when she was, and I'm just going to be anecdotal, when she was broaching that subject about sexual relations and all that kind of stuff, she wasn't asking me what was my body count or my experiences. She knew I had some, but I didn't need her to put any vision of what she might have done in my head. I didn't need to know that. I didn't need to hear that. And that's just me, because even though she was special to me, I know that somebody else, she's been with somebody else. I don't know. You ever had a virgin? You ever had a virgin girlfriend? Maybe today.
Never.
It might be
Never.
impossible for today, right? I had one girl back in the 80s that was a virgin. I didn't know she was. She was from the South. And we finally did the deed. And, she was crying. And I said, what's the matter? I said, I was that bad? I was that bad? Did you cry? She said, no. She said, I was just kind of joking. She said, no, that's not it. She said, you don't know? I said, I don't know what. She said, this is my first time. Actually, some spots of blood on the sheet and all that shit. I said, holy shit, man. and we had a relationship, so I wasn't just passing through. I liked her. We were in the same location. She was from the South, I was from the North, and we were in a training program for a year. And the reason why we didn't stay together, because after the training program, she was going one way, I was going another. But I never asked her to come with me. I think she would have said yes. I think she would have said, yeah, but that's just water under the bridge. But what I'm saying is, unless your girl was a virgin, you can't really put them up on those kind of pedestals from to where you're naive about what they might have done in private with another man, right? You can't afford it.
I think what he's saying, it's hard when you take the sex out of it, right? Because like a great example of what he's talking about that's not sexual. I remember dealing with a female. She was a nice girl. She was normally sweet all the time. Like she was a very nice girl. Okay. And one day I did something to upset her. What it was particular, I don't remember. This was when I was in high school. That's like 12, 15 years ago at this point. So what I did to upset her, I don't remember at this point. But what I do remember is the shock of watching her break my Xbox. It was like, damn, I didn't think that you had this in you. Like I would never have seen this come from you. Like just the shock of that, like the shock of, oh my God, I can't believe that you. Yeah. That was the first and last time that I was ever surprised by it.
Yeah, but like I said, but again, a lot of stuff he's talking about is when a man is attached to a woman and he puts on some kind of pedestal, whatever it is, he can't really imagine that before him. She was just somebody else's play toy, and the extent of that play toy might have to go to characteristic and how many men matters. All right. But so that's the truth. So he's trying to get men to kind of look past that so he can, I guess, sleep at night. And I'm glad that wasn't one of my issues, with, I guess any girlfriend I had. I really, really didn't. I just knew that I really wasn't fooling around with any real sluts. Man, what's going on, JT? What's happening, man?
What's up, man? What's going on?
All right.
Yes, sir.
The only way that I would push back on what he's saying is if there was a switch up, right? Because something I'm thinking about right now is I'm thinking about an experience where the young lady would and sexually speaking, the young lady would only check off 2 or 3 boxes. Like there were only 3 positions that were allowed in that interaction. Okay. Then you find out about her past, like, oh yeah, she was getting spun around. She had 3, 4 of them running through the house at a time. Like, wait, you was doing all of that then, but now you here with me and this is all you doing? Yeah, that is gonna be very heartbreaking. And it's not my fault. I didn't set the expectation. I'm going off based off of how we created this thing. And I'm finding out that what that was in the past is not what this is now in the present. So I think, and just pushing back against it is not her fault if that happens to you. Like in that instance, I would definitely say that it is 100% her fault.
Well, let me ask you this before JT goes. Listen, is it really her fault if you didn't do enough to vet that out before you got attached?
So that's why you said, is it the answer or is it the way that she answers? That to me, it's the way that she answers. So if we had this conversation and you went about having that conversation as, oh, I was a lovely girl and I would never, and I would, if that's the way that you let it, and then I find out all of these things later, that's different than you having a conversation and say, hey, this is how I get down. This is what I rock with. What's up?
She was deceitful. I mean, but let me ask you another question on that point. If you had the body count conversation with a woman, do you really believe the number she says if you're actually looking for a number? Or do you
never?
Okay.
For me personally, that conversation is never predicate. I'm never having that conversation for the number. It's never the number that I'm having the conversation with. Because to be honest with you, because then what you would, if you were a good questioner, if you were a good interviewer, you would then follow up with, okay, well, how many is too many? I don't have a number.
Right.
Because there's one female that I'll meet that'll tell me that she's had 7 and that's perfectly fine. And then there's another female that I might meet and she'll tell me that she has 4.
but for some reason that's disgusting. It's a lot of it's probably going to be predicated on how much do I actually like her, what is my attraction level to her. So the number doesn't matter. It's the how. It's the matter of the conversation itself. Because I would expect her to have that same conversation with me. It might not necessarily be about body count, but I would think that she would want to have a conversation about what is your experiences. Are you abusive? Are you vanilla? Are like there is a level of a conversation that comes from asking that question.
Okay. What's up, JT? How much have you seen, man?
Yeah,
hey man, hold on. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. What's up?
What's up, Black man?
I'm just listening to y'all, man. You say how many is too many? It only takes one time for a woman to have unprotected sex to get pregnant. She can get pregnant, right? That happens a lot. It could take one time for her to contract HIV or chlamydia or any type of STD, correct?
Yes.
So anything past, or like you said earlier, women's pH balance is based on their sexual partners as well. That's also a difference between men. They talk about men and women because both of them got the body count. No. If they pH balance, if you do your research, pH balance is knocked out by how many men have had sex with you. The semen stays in these women. So if you have 5, if she says you 7 bodies, that means there's 7 butt slits in there, a whole bunch of them floating around in her DNA, right? She also have inherited, because if you look at it from a medical standpoint, when people go get heart surgery and they get a heart put in, they never ate bananas before, but all of a sudden now they have a taste for bananas, is because that person they got the heart from had a taste for bananas. That's a fact. So if that type of DNA can transfer a person's taste for something, then just imagine if a man is inside of a woman, how it changes her pH balance, and also how it changes her attitude. How many women you know were so sweet and endearing, and after 10 partners, she's saying, bitch ass nigga, fuck you, you ain't shit, hoe ass nigga.
Of course. But
so
but what? Okay, you went on this soliloquy, right?
Yeah.
And we all live in this real world, right? So the truth of the matter is, and we're not talking about sluts here. I think we're all married or been in a close relationship with a woman, but we don't have a prerequisite that she didn't have any lovers at all. I don't think any of us up here have that prerequisite. So how do you jive that with what you're saying?
Well, what I'm saying is this. Every time, and this is something my grandfather said years ago, and I should have said this on the show a long time ago. My grandfather says, every time the game over, y'all. Let me show you the score real quick. Jesus Christ, it's 40. My son them to beat their ass 47-0. Look at this. But anyway, this is how you settle that argument. Is that if you really think about it, R-Pain, you're right. A lot of women had a whole bunch of men. You're right.
No, forget about the whole bunch. Don't add the whole bunch. Forget about
What'd your granddaddy say? What you got cut off? You switched up. What'd your granddaddy say?
My grandfather said, every time your woman bark at you, it's her and all them niggas barking at you at the same time. So if you got a woman that's nigga, that's all the niggas inside of her coming out.
That's funny as hell.
And guess what? That's what my grandfather said. My grandfather said, if you meet, and my granddad said, if you meet half them niggas, you won't see the same characteristics in them niggas that you see in your woman.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Damn.
And guess what? I can tell you right now, my sister is one of them. My sister got 3 kids, 3 baby dads. She was a black sheep. Everybody else married, but she wanted to be the whore, and so she went out and she got 3 baby daddies, 3 kids. Well, my sister used to be a sweetheart. She'd give you the shirt off her back. Right now, she's nothing. She'll cuss your ass out in a heartbeat. She'll tell you, fuck you, suck a dick, go fuck yourself in the ass. Like, she's a different person. Every time my sister bark, I know the niggas that she used to talk to. Every time she bark, she reminds me of these niggas.
All right, but BMU, I got to bring you back down, okay? To answer, okay, we got the grandfather thing. Not one of us up here had a maybe you did. Maybe did we have a prerequisite that our woman be a virgin for marriage? And if the answer to that was yes, then okay, I can understand. I mean, so you really don't know the real number. And listen, but based on
if she tell you 7, it's definitely 23.
Yeah, okay, but this okay. So how much will you see, I hate to get anecdotal, right? With my wife, for example, based on your grandfather's explanation, maybe my lady didn't have any kids. She'll never bark at me like that. Never. She's always a honey and sweetheart. So now I'm gonna take that metric and say, hey, honey, you're a good girl. My wife is a good girl because she don't never curse me out. She has never called me out of my name. She ain't called me no bitch ass nigga. She has never said anything like that. She don't even curse. So hey, I'm gonna go kiss my wife after this and say, honey, whatever dick you had, that motherfucker didn't do his job because you too sweet. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and you're right, and maybe.
Go ahead.
And maybe I'll just finna turn in for you, brother. Yeah, no problem. Y'all have a good night. But maybe you're right. Maybe you got lucky. Maybe your wife had a man that made love to her, and they got. maybe your wife had a man that made sweet love to her and whispered sweet songs in her ears. And after it was over, they mutually agreed to separate from each other. So maybe your wife had a good long stroker that stroked her real good and whispered in her ear while he was stroking her down.
To any ladies that are watching, BMU talking right now is an example of why men don't talk to other men. This is an example of why.
Hey, has she ever said, "Are you out your fucking mind"? That could be you.
That could be you coming out of her. Yeah.
That's just some funny shit, man. But listen, all I'm just trying to say is, I hear what you're saying, BMU, but for us, those examples you give are kind of extreme because that's not the reality that none of us have up on this.
But like I said, sometimes women get with men and they have a mutual breakup. It's not nothing severe. But the majority of women are in relationships with men who have fucked them, moved on from them. They're bitter. They become bitter because they're so emotionally attached to that man, and they see that man with another woman, and they see that man having kids with another woman. And I saw my sister go through this transition. She went from a sweetheart to a monster. And because she was emotionally attached to her first baby dad, then she said, oh, I'm going to try again. I'm going to try love again. Then she just got some random ass nigga that she thought was going to be good. He was trash. She had another baby. Now my sister is the seed of Satan. And every time my sister go cussing and acting a fool, those are those men coming up out of her. Y'all ever seen The Exorcist when she was in the bed and he said, who are you? And she started naming all the motherfuckers. Oh, that's my sister, nigga. I'm telling you right now. So maybe your wife, like I said, maybe your wife got a long stroke that was mutual and they just broke up.
Oh man, that is funny, man. Hey man, hey JT didn't say what's going on, JT, man. What's
JT,
happening?
my boy. Hey JT, first of all, JT, I called you Saturday and had Dietrich on the phone again, and you didn't answer.
Oh, Saturday?
I called you Saturday night while we was out eating. He was sitting right beside me, and I gave him the phone. I said, I'm going to call my brother back so he can talk. And Dietrich was sitting right beside me. You missed it, bro.
Yeah, because I didn't know if you guys can actually hear, because y'all can only hear me a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was talking about
he went to Mumford. I know he said
he said all the celebrities in Detroit went to Mumford. He said the Winans, the Clarksons, all of them went to that school.
Yeah. They all stayed over there for Outer Drive. All of them.
Yep.
The Winans, the Clark sisters. It was a couple of other people that was on there. But yeah, they all stayed where Mumford was where all of the Motown celebrities. That's what that was the neighborhood where all the Motown celebrities stayed.
Well, we'll talk about it later. I don't want to ruin our paying show, but I will say this, and I'm gonna get off. I also guess who was sitting in front of me while we was eating?
Kirk Franklin.
Nope. Nope. T-Boz and Chili from TLC.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Wow.
That's dope, man. That was cool. I was a little starstruck, dog. I was like, what up? I was smiling like a little groupie, R-Pain.
I called him with Dietrich on the phone. JT said,
That's so funny.
All right, man. Y'all have a good rest of your show. I'm finna leave.
All right, bro.
All right, man. So, T, man, what you know about the topic, man? You know, what's your opinion of when body count matters and when it doesn't?
Yeah. So let's go, and I'll put both of them together. The one with the young lady was talking about, and what he was talking about. So, the one with the woman that was with the guy, was it the young lady was talking about that, and she was with the guy that she pretty much was like a side chick to, somebody that she was casually dating with and stuff like that.
Okay.
And she was saying that was for most guys that would be pretty much disgusting, right?
Okay.
And it does have a different type of thing because body count is not the only thing that can turn a man off. And so the thing is that I've never in my life had a body count conversation in depth with a woman, right?
Okay.
Like if she asks how many women you slept with, none of your fucking business. What are you talking about? What are we talking about?
They generally don't ask that either, though.
But you will find out with a lot of women because they talk a lot.
Right.
And so if you had a woman that actually had, say that she had a guy and you asked her, like, especially during these days, where you say, how many relationships you had or something like that? When was your last relationship? And they would tell you what their last relationship was, but they would say it wasn't really a relationship. We wasn't really, we wasn't committed to each other.
You was just banging it out.
It was just sex.
Right.
And they have no idea of what they just said. Right. And that's why they be like, oh my God, why are all these guys, the only thing that they do after about, 20 days, 60 days is over with. Like the pattern of them dating guys is almost the same. Right. And they get pissed off and get fed up. So you would hear the relationships come out of them when they're frustrated. Like you would hear women saying stuff like, I ain't never, I've been, like they had put out their grievances, like they've been, fucked over too many times. They ain't gonna get fucked over again and shit like that. And they have no idea of what they're doing. They're telling you about their past.
Right.
So even if you have a woman that said that, yeah, I had a casual relationship with a guy, again, she has no idea about men are, for one, once you let us in on your body count, because you tell us in due time.
So many ways,
in so many ways. They'll say things like, this one boyfriend I was with, and then in another instance, they'll say, yeah, like this other guy that I was with. And then after a while, they done told you about 5 different boyfriends that they was with. This one guy dated was a DJ. This other guy, he used to be a truck driver. So that was like the time. And they have no idea that they're telling you what their body count is. If you listen to them, they're going to tell you everything you need to know. And it is for a sense disgusting for a man to have his significant other as that jump off, as that woman with a whole bunch of men. And that's what happens in those relationships, is because that's one of the things men just don't tell women. They don't lead on to women on why they're actually saying, man, this shit is over with. They don't dedicate themselves to them. They don't give them everything that they would give a woman that's potentially their wife and things like that. So this is why you have a lot of young dudes that just opt out of all that other stuff, because the girls are already telling them everything they need to know, because they just, they give their whole resume out, but it's in due time. They ain't gonna tell you that in one night. Or if you intentionally asking them and stuff like that, you just got to have a conversation with them.
Yeah, so. No, I hear that. And I hear you. I mean, I never asked the number either. You definitely need to know how the woman is moving. How she moving, how she says.
Yeah, and if you like her.
Because she is going to tell you. But I got this clip that I want to show both of you. Now you'll hear JT and 100 watts. This clip is like 3 or 4 minutes long. But the lady says a lot of shit in here that we could react to. I mean, I got a whole bunch of questions based on what she's saying. And instead of giving it away, I'm gonna just play it and see what you think about her position on body count. Let me go ahead. I gotta share this. Hold on for a second. All right. So let me go back and share this. I'll get rid of that. Get rid of this. So this is my girl here. We're gonna
my body count. I never speak to him again. If you're a person whose brain just went, oh, that's because she has a high body count, I want you to listen to this. When a man asks me my body count, it is for one purpose. I want to make a judgment about your character based on your body count. They will try to say things like, oh, well, I'll tell you my body count too, or I just want to get to know you better. And like, I promise I won't judge. I really have an open mind.
All right, so let me stop it right there, okay, fellas, because she already said a lot, right? One of the things that I think a lot of these women get wrong, man, let's just say the body count question, the guy who asked, it depends on how you ask, right? So if you say, well, what's your body count? You know, I just want to know, and as opposed to saying, listen, I want to know how many fucking guys you slept with. I want to know what you've done, what your past is like. And she says, well, you just want to really judge me. You fucking right, I want to judge you. If you're going to be my woman, you're going to have to stand in the well for me to judge you, right? So she doesn't want to be judged. So she's getting ready. So this is my impression of what she's saying. She wants to, so because let's establish the fact that a man who just wants to be, who's just his turn, he don't give a shit about your body count, right? There's a guy who is looking at you for maybe a relationship. So that where it might matter whether you tell him the number or not. It kind of, your past matters because he wants to cuff you. He wants to do something more special with you. So the question is a man well within his rights to judge the woman he wants to be with?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Exactly.
Because there has to be some way of deciphering between someone I want to be with and someone I don't. I have to have some type of way of deciphering you just something I'm smashing on or something I plan on taking serious. There's some level of judgment that's going to come in there. There's going to be some level of, hey, are you going to be a good mother if we have children or not? Like there's a level of judgment that comes in, and your sexual activity is part of that. Giving away, that is, most people see that at sex as such a important thing that if you're just giving it away for free, then it has no value. You have no value to yourself if you're just giving it away for free. If you don't have the ability to say, no, I'm not interested, and separate yourself, there's a level of discernment that you don't have that I should be able to be aware of when I'm making the decision of, am I about to make this lifelong commitment of taking care of you and everything that comes from you?
With you, right.
So there is a level of judgment that's going to come, point blank, period. That's just how life goes.
So go ahead, JT. What do you think? Right? We got the right to judge the woman that's going to be in our life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think that nowadays the judgment, the reason for the judgment is bullshit.
Well, what do you mean by that?
So if you're not judging a woman based off of her being a wife and the mother of your children, then a lot of this judgment would be obsolete. This is why most men, young men in a younger generation, are opting out of that whole body count bullshit. For one, they don't even know how to ask it. I just gave them the sauce from there. But what happens is that they're fine with just screwing females. Right. They're fine with just screwing them. So they're not trying to be committed to a lot of these women anymore. Because it's already, think about this. If you got a woman that already have 3 children, what you need to know her body count for?
Yeah, but let's normalize it though. Let's normalize it. Because you're right. You're absolutely. Let's normalize it. Let's look at a woman that you're vetting, and we have to. You're right. This is good that you made that point. There's a woman. You're a single man. She's a single woman with no kids, but she's older. She has some kind of past, just like you do. So let's leave it there, because you're right. If she has kids and a family and all that kind of shit, the questions are a little bit different.
Yeah.
Right. So let's put it to where this woman might be, where she's eliminating men if they're concerned about her past. And one of the underlying things that I think she's saying is that you don't have the right to judge me. And she's wrong.
She's absolutely wrong. And especially so looking at her, she looks about 25 to 28 years old.
Right.
So yeah, if she's saying that, that's what I'm saying. This is why guys have opted out. They opted out to even ask, because women are saying this. They've been saying this for a couple of decades now. Coming straight out, you don't judge me. If somebody asks me my body count, it's over with. that's like a fear. They try to make that a fear tactic. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, whether you slept with a lot of men or not, it is relevant to us. But the way that we will find out is what makes it irrelevant. Like I said, it doesn't matter. Say if that woman had, let's say she had 3 guys that she slept with in total.
Right.
Her experiences with those guys probably matter more than how many guys it was. That's why I was saying. So if she had one dude where he had a wife and she was the side chick and she had a side chick relationship with this dude for 6 years. And then she had another guy where she was in a relationship and he was in a relationship and they both were just screwing around on the people they was in the relationship with. Fuck the body count. That's telling me everything I need to know right there.
Right.
So it's how she looks at herself.
Exactly. The other thing is the guy also, her example of the guy who backpedaling and saying, I don't really judge, I just want to know. That kind of guy doesn't deserve an answer. He's an asshole. He should tell her, yeah, you're goddamn right. I am judging you. And if that means we can't talk with each other, I'll find another woman. You guys are a dime a dozen. But let's hear some more about what she has to say.
It doesn't matter to me. So first of all, it's not the same thing for a man to tell you his body count and for you to tell yours to him, because we all know that men's body count will never affect the way that people view him or his like worth in society or to himself. Secondly, when he assures you that he doesn't care and it really doesn't matter to him, I can promise you he's lying from the fact alone that he asked you the question. A man...
Well, let's stop it on that point right there. One of the reasons why a man's body count doesn't really matter is not society. It's because women don't give a shit about it. Women don't care about a man's body count. Not really. They don't judge you. And she's thinking that since they don't judge us and society doesn't judge us, we shouldn't judge a woman by that. And she's at that feminist bullshit that we're equal that way, and we're not.
Right.
I mean, you guys tell me what y'all think about that last little segment there.
Yeah, you're right. It is definitely different with guys and women. One of the reasons is because women are receivers. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. That's the same thing. Yeah, go.
Yeah. So when she's talking about comparing body counts, it doesn't make any sense for her to be comparing with men, because one of the things we do know that actually what gets men and women is women that he's already with. So if she sees that man has a bunch of women that that likes him or that he's dating, stuff like that, it doesn't stop her from wanting to be with that man. As a matter of fact, she probably would try to take him from the other women or try to be a part of his harem, depending on what type of woman she is and how much her attraction is to that guy. Women are fucking bizarre, man. I couldn't stand their ass in high school. I ain't gonna even lie. You would have women that did that. You would have these were young girls too, high school. Right. And it'll be 9, 10 girls that love the doggone jock, right? The baseball player, the basketball, not baseball, but basketball, the football player. The guy that was nominated for prom king and president and stuff like that, because they want to actually try to get to be prom queen or something like that.
Right.
And they don't care how many girls he was messing around with. They don't care.
So 100, you got anything on that one, or we're gonna keep going?
Like we were talking about earlier, the duality of women. I agree with most of what you said. Like, they don't really care until they do. The same way, like we all heard the phrase, the same way you get them is the same way you lose them. Yeah. Right? They will love the fact that you have 5, 6, 7 different females in your face. But then once y'all become a couple, now she's gonna be questioning you everywhere. She's gonna have these insecurities or these questions in her mind about you and other women all the time, because women love you. So now, because she got you, now she worried about you entertaining somebody else the same way that you entertain her. So that's the duality that they live in. Because they don't want to deal with a nigga that don't get pussy.
Who doesn't care about your body count won't ask you about it because it truly doesn't matter to him. And lastly, if he's telling you that this is a way for him to get to know you better, that's because he thinks that your body count says something about you as a person.
All right, so let me stop right there. Does a woman's body count say anything about her as a person?
Hell yeah.
It says a lot.
Says a whole lot.
Okay, let's mine that out though. When she's saying, based on what she's saying a lot there, but it's a loaded question, right? Because a woman with a high body count can actually be a good person, right? In terms of the way she treats other people.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is that possible?
Or she can be a good person, but she could be a pushover.
No, okay, but we're adding something to it. That's her promiscuity.
No, I'm saying like someone who is willing to just willingly give their self away has no ability to say no. They don't have many boundaries. They don't have the ability of separating themselves.
Okay. All right.
That's so
you're a
that
pushover.
matters. That actually matters.
So that's a character flaw somewhere in there.
Yeah. She don't know when to say no. She don't have any boundaries. So we actually look at that as, for instance, if we're dating, we got serious with her, that whole thing of her going out with the girls or her going out with her friends, that shit and shit like that, and boom, there you go.
She's the woman at the bachelor party sucking the guy with the bear hat, Johnson.
Yeah, so right. So if you take her on, right, that is the craziest part. If you take her on, you tell her, look, I'm about to marry you, but this is the things that you can't do. You can't go on no girls trip. You can't do nothing with no men. There's no associate men, no friend men. You lost your privileges because you are careless with your cooch.
So yeah, man. So what you're telling me is she wants to be free to do what the hell she wants to in a relationship.
A serious character flaw is absolutely what that is. She can be a sweetheart all she wants. I've met some women that were whores, but they were sweethearts.
They were sweethearts. Sweethearts on a moonlit night, man. You know what I'm saying?
If a man cares about your body count, if a man asks you what your body count is, this is a number one red flag that this is a deeply insecure man, and you need to run. You need to head for the hills as fast as you can. You're one of the people I was talking about in the beginning who thinks that because I refuse to talk about my body count, that means that I must have a really high body count. You are the deeply insecure person that I'm referring to. You assume.
All right, so
that I don't want to talk about it because I have a high body count, and you are saying that that's a shameful thing. And
so she's saying a couple of things here. One, for her to have so much angst about the conversation about body count, it actually does say that the assumption is not that far-fetched, right? I mean, who you know what I'm saying? I mean, this only what's the saying? Does protest too much? Some shit like that.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, it says who protests. I mean, if you have something that bothers you as much as her being asked the body count to be judged by the man who actually might want her, right? Means that she's got something in her past that she doesn't want to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me. And is it a bad assumption, or is it one of those 50? If I was Ham, he would ask me, is it more likely that she has something in her past that she wants to keep secret, or it's just a principle she's standing on?
It's definitely not a principle. Go ahead.
Listening to her talk is how a video you showed earlier about how women just don't understand men. Like JT, you were saying earlier, we're like men that have the ability, the intellectual ability to communicate. We're not necessarily just going to come out and be like, so how many niggas you been fucking? Like, we're not going to just come out and ask it that way, but we're going to have a conversation. Any man that is interested in your sexual history is interested in you. Any man that is not is only interested in being part of your sexual history. But any man that don't care about who you've been fucking on is just trying to fuck on you. It's that simple. But for some reason, she has mixed it up in her mind to say that a man that is willing to ask about her sexual history is insecure. Okay, all right.
Isn't that the number one gaslighting thing that women do anyway? You know, what's that? Can you come on video, Poppy, just so I can see you? We got that standing room. All right, man.
Their favorite things to do is tell you that you're insecure or tell you your dick little. Those are their two favorite things to do.
What's going on, Poppy? What you got on the subject? I see you just pop up, man. How you doing?
How you doing, family?
What up, man? What's going on, boy?
Man, same shit, different toilet, bro. You already know how it is.
For sure.
So what do you got on the topic real quick? We're going through this video with this chick. It's not that long, but you know, you saw the title. What do you think?
Yeah. it's a funny title, man. I think every man, I don't care what race, color, religion, I don't care if you are alien, every man cares about the women past sexually. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there is no way in hell that a man wants to be walking around with a neighborhood hoe. I'm sorry, nigga. You see what I'm saying? Unless you a pimp. You see what I'm saying? He ain't got no problem walking around with a neighborhood hoe, but guess what? He's squeezing them hoes for money. So it's a purpose to his madness, right? The thing is that here's the problem, man. Most, and I know I'm probably gonna catch a lot of hate by saying this, but like most women are hoes, right? So the thing that's going on is that since most women are hoes, is that the average man, right? The average man, he doesn't have the knowledge or the tools to figure it out if she's a hoe, because he's not looking for those red flags. Women are one thing women is great is a manipulator. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the only tool that they can actually use on a man. Anything else, they will catch a L. Manipulation is the only thing they got. If it is a guy like they think like they want to keep around for whatever reason, they will manipulate that guy into doing whatever they want to do, and that's how a lot of guys get got.
Okay.
And they get blinded. Next thing you know, they are walking around with a hoe. And sometimes our biggest kryptonite is pussy, bro. That's every man kryptonite.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, man. It's spoiled many a man. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And the scarcity mindset. If a man is in a scarcity mindset, he's really prone to manipulation, because he thinks if it's not this girl, he ain't gonna have another chance. So they let the women get away with shit, like what she's talking about right now, about gaslighting you and saying you can't ask me or judge me. She's crazy, especially if so. The only reason why I really would care about her body count, and I'm not going to ask her, but I'm going to care whether she was promiscuous, is because I might care about her.
Right.
If I didn't care about her, I don't give a shit who you slept with.
Right. If you don't care about, but that's the thing. That's why I was saying that that's better. How Poppy said it, the sexual history, right?
Right.
So the thing is that those flaws are definitely going to come out on most women. Some women are still trapped. You just ain't going to get it out of them. You know what I'm saying? They done moved, whatever it was, they done went somewhere. They ain't connected to everybody. But very few women are like that. And you listen long enough, they're going to tell you everything that you need to know about them. Right. And they're flawed with that. They're going to talk to you about their sexual past. It's one thing that it knocks a lot of females off too. Because, you hear these women when they first, when they talking and they say, you ask them, what is it that you hate worse than anything else, right? And you will hear a lot of these women say, I can't stand a liar. When that's the best time. That's the best time than any time to ask her about her sexual past, not no simple shit like, you know, her body count. That shit is that's minuscule.
You got to be a little bit more strategic with the question. That's for sure.
So you ask her something that'll kind of knock her off if she's done it, right? And one of the things you ask her is say, have you ever had a threesome before, right? Because she just got through from saying, I can't stand a liar.
So subconsciously, I can't talk about. I'm not talking about that with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right? She gonna get either she's gonna tell the truth or she's going to be. She's never gonna. She's not gonna lie. Like no, it's gonna be kind of like. I don't think we should be even discussing my past. Why you want to know what my past is? You be like, you already told me what I need to know.
So before you go any further, let's stick on that point. What kind of reaction would you have for a girl that you like and you might want to do something with if she said, yeah, I've been in threesomes before?
That's probably the last conversation we're gonna have. I'm straight.
Me personally, I wouldn't even insult her or nothing like that. I would just keep it. I would keep going with the flow. I would have never ever. Don't get it twisted. I still would pipe her down, but she would never be wifey.
I'm not gonna abruptly, you know, if it was a date or something like that, I'm not gonna abruptly just end a date, but I'll be like, this is the last time I'll probably see her or whatever.
We ain't going.
One thing, I'm not a dating coach, bro, but I'm very good at this, right? One thing I learned throughout the years doing with women, right? If you put women in comfortable situations, comfortable surroundings, they tell you everything you need to know. Yes. You don't have to ask nothing. You just gotta be like, you gotta put the cheese out there and they will always bite. I don't care how good or the whole shit is. You just listen, bro. Make it a no judgment zone kind of situation, man. Go with the flow. You just throw. All you have to do as a man is take mental notes, bro. Take mental notes. Don't even bother to even try like, oh, for real? Oh, word? Get the fuck out of here. I know you ain't did that, man. You lying. You lying.
You're crazy to motherfucker.
I don't want to talk about it.
Let us say, because she's going to walk into some of the things I think you're talking about, gentlemen.
All right.
Because let's go.
Someone's body count is not a shameful thing. It's literally their private health information. If a woman would like to share that information with anybody, whether it be like a partner or their mother or their friend or whoever, then they will share that information.
So there you go, right? So what she's saying is, if I get comfortable enough with whoever it might be, could be you as a potential quote unquote, I hate the word partner, I'm gonna tell you what you need to know without you asking. That's what she's kind of saying right there, right?
Yeah, but she want to wait until y'all done had feelings. You done said back and bought the ring.
Yes. She wants you to be invested before she lets you have it.
The thing is that listen, I don't care how good of the whole shit is. They all gonna behave the same. The only thing you got to be there to catch the behavior, right? You got to look for the traits. Right? Yes. The movement. We will never know an exact number unless you tell us. Oh yeah, Papi, I smashed 17 guys. Oh, okay. No, okay, cool. Anything double digits, then we look at it as a whole. Most men will look at it as a whole. Anything double digits.
Yep.
That's just how our mind is wired. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
No, go ahead, boss.
No, the point is, because those numbers, you know that there's a significant amount of those things that she just fucked the guy because he was available. Right? Because she wasn't in a 17 relationship. She was just, hey, man, tonight I'm out with the girls, man. You look good. I'm giving you some ass.
And the reason why any woman that smashed over 10 guys is very simple. Think about it. It's all a math thing, right? Think about it. Most women, let's use a woman, 40 years old. Most people are 40. Most women are 40. How many real relationship do you think this woman had? Maybe what, 5 to 7 the most?
And that's a lot. That's probably a lot. That's a lot.
Okay, let's use the high. I'm trying to go to the highest number, right?
Let's say 7. Yeah.
It's 7, right?
Yeah.
Now she's 40, right? Obviously, it might be a baby in there too. So obviously, she was with the baby daddy. She possibly might have been married. Who cares, right?
Right.
Baby daddy said the high school sweetheart, the 2 boyfriends in college, all this bullshit she's gonna tell you, right?
Right.
How the hell can you explain you having 7? We expect her to fuck on her 7 boyfriends. That's expected, right? Cool,
Right.
no problem. But how can she explain smashing 17 guys? That means 10 guys smash for the free. That means out of those 10 guys extra, it's a couple of one night stand. It's a couple of times that she went to see grandma in Florida. She fucked the neighbor. It's a couple of times. And that's a hole right there. You see what I'm saying?
I hear you. I mean, here's the other thing. This is why married women who get divorced or are widowed, but they were married for 10, 15 years. One of the assumptions of the guy coming in after her is that she only had one dick during that whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say she was a good wife, right? That's not going to really matter to you. Okay, she had a husband, she had a guy that she was with for that long. You can have a safe assumption that she wasn't out there whoring, as opposed to a woman who's just been free for 20 years.
Yeah, but that still can work against her,
especially
if she.
Tell me how.
So if she's say that she's been with that one man for 15, 20 years, and then she comes out and she starts to want to date again, and she's widowed, that's a lot that that man that she's dating may have to deal with, right?
Well, that's a difference. He ain't thinking about her being a whore, though.
No, he's not. But the thing is that most dudes, when you're dating, like I said, I think, and this is another thing to delineate the guys. There's an age where dudes just don't care about certain shit.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? So the older the guy is, the less he even cares about the shit.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but when
if you want to marry her, though,
yeah,
we got so maybe it wouldn't matter even if you want to get married. You 45-year-old man, you want to marry a woman who's 40 or 39, 38. You're not going to really be hung up on body count.
So do you think that just going off of that, she's been with one man 15, 16 years, you think that actually is good for her resume? Like it shows that she's dedicated or something like that? Okay.
Of course. I mean, as far as if a man really thinks about it, but think about it. If she's been married, you would expect, first of all, she ain't getting that much dick because half the marriage becomes sexless somewhere after. So she ain't fucking at all. So that's just kind of the growth.
One thing I learned.
She ain't shit happening.
Go ahead, Poppy. What's up?
One thing I learned, right? Like I usually,
y'all. I'll be right back.
I usually rent an Airbnb with me and the homies, and all of us got to call like 3 girls for the weekend, and then we just party and do all kind of fun shit, right? So we play drinking games and all that good shit.
Right.
One thing I know, bro, is 9 out of 10 when a woman tell you, who cares about body count? Like a chick kind of like argue about that point. 9 out of 10, that's a hoe. 9 out of 10, that's a hoe. 9 out of 10, that's a hoe because and I tell you why, right? The woman that gonna be like, oh my god, yeah, who cares? Hey, listen, that's a hoe for the most part. You want to know why? Because if the bro got like a decent, respectable amount of partners throughout her life, she will wear that number proud on her forehead. Oh, I only been with 4 guys. I only been with 5 guys. She will scream that out of the top of her lungs. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I
but
do.
Since she doesn't, she has been getting buzzed down by the neighborhood, right? The whole neighborhood. Now, the way that she will hide behind that. Who cares about that shit? Oh, after that, I don't need to hear nothing else no more. I already know you for the game, baby. Don't get me twisted, man. We're gonna have some fun, but hey, I already know you for the game.
That's exactly what this lady's up here talking about. Let me go ahead and play because it's maybe another minute.
When they feel comfortable You don't need to ask them. Pretty much any woman can tell you that this is a loaded question from the start. If a man asks you your body count and you tell him, one of two things will happen. The number that you tell him either will or won't fit into his societal expectation of what is the correct number or what's an appropriate number. If your number is higher than what he had in his head, he will then start to resent you and judge you and think differently of you and lower of you.
Well, listen, you know what? She's right. And she doesn't want to be judged. And she's absolutely right. If you're having this conversation, and even if you wait till when she wants to tell you, if you tell a guy a certain number, he's going to judge you. She doesn't want to be judged by the man that she wants to be with, right? So if the number's high, like in the 20s, he's going to actually look at you a different way than if the fucking number was 5. And she act like she don't understand that. And it's not about what society, well, it does. It is not only is it society, it's about how other men will view her with you, especially if you're in the same kind of circles. So I don't know where she's coming from. I don't see how she's actually either willfully blind or she's just a young idiot, because it's gonna impact him, and it's his right to judge you if you're gonna be his woman. What do you say to that?
That makes sense, right? That makes sense, and that's why 99% of the women most likely going to lie about that number. They usually going to land between. They usually going, the ones that are fucking outside a lot. They usually going to land between 3 and 6. That's like their favorite numbers right there. Only been with 6 guys, college, and high school. But again, bro, the only way that a man will know that you're dealing with a hoe, you have to been through a lot of hoes. Listen, man. Listen, like I say, me personally, I never asked a bro what is her body count is.
Me either. I never have either. Go ahead.
I just sit back and study behavior. I look for it's so many ways that you can find out if this hoe is for the gang or not. Like it's very, and this is what I like. One of the things that I don't agree with the manosphere, right? The manosphere, they usually advise men to do coffee dates and all that bum shit, right? I was like, no, bro. Nah, bro. If you're interested in that woman, you need to go out with that woman as much as possible. You need to go out in long days, whatever it is. Drinks, I don't know, dinner. Pick a place, pick a, you know.
To see how she moves. To see how she
the
moves.
Longer, exactly. The longer you hang out with this woman, the more that she gonna let you know about herself. Now you start matching story. Hold on, man. You told me the story a little different, like 3 weeks ago. Now you adding somebody. You see what I'm saying? So now you start cross-referencing your head. Now you start cross-referencing your head, but at the same time, just keep it close to the best. You don't have to say nothing yet. Also, me personally, I'm an outside nigga. I like to be outside, right? Yeah. If I'm out with a bro, I wanna put the bitch in the jungle to see who knows her. You see what I'm saying? I like to put the bitch in the jungle with other wolves to know who knows her. I want to see who's her homegirl is. I want to see. Hold on. Oh, that's my best friend from college. Hold on, man. That's your best friend from college. The homies run a thread on here. That's your best.
That's funny as hell, man. That's true. Here's another thing, though. Here's another thing.
And that's why. And that's one of the things that I disagree with the manosphere, because if you take on to Starbucks to coffee day, nigga, who the fuck can go outside coffee days, man? People go there to study. Go out, live your normal life. Football season is back. Take that bitch out on Sundays to a little bar, man. It's gonna be people in there. You want to have
what's wrong with a coffee day?
What's wrong with a coffee day? Everything is wrong with a coffee day, bro. Because
why do you get to determine what I should do on a date?
It's because I'm the master at this shit. That's why, nigga. Anyway, but look. The reason why the coffee day is a horrible day
is because exactly. That's a silly ass answer.
No, listen, I'm gonna tell you what.
Don't get to tell anybody what to do.
I'm gonna tell you.
If a man wants to take a woman on a coffee date, that's what the fuck he can do. You guys are
I'm gonna tell you.
weirdos. You guys
I'm gonna
are
tell you
always
what.
constantly worried about what
All right,
another
cool.
man's doing with his dick and his wallet. It's weird, bro.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what a coffee. I'm gonna tell you what a coffee date is. A stupid date. When you go to Starbucks, people go to Starbucks.
Why you think it's a stupid date? Nobody cares.
I'll let you get yours off, bro. I'll let you shit up.
Hold on, man. Let's not derail everything based on that. I don't want to argue.
No. Let me explain. Let me explain why a coffee date is the dumbest thing ever. Right? The reason why. Bro, can I get my shit off?
I'm gonna put both of you guys down because I don't want to argue about this shit. I want to stay on topic, man. That's what I want to do.
Stupid topic.
Okay, man. It's just listen, man. We don't need to digress down this. You made your point already, man.
Talking about body count, the whole thing.
I don't want to. I don't listen.
Why are we still having this conversation? The manosphere has been around for almost 20 years now. We still talking about body count?
Hey, listen.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that. If we're talking about body count, what you have on the body count thing, Trey? Anything? I saw the questions you put up there. Let's stick on that topic.
It's stupid. It's always been a stupid question. There are much better questions that you can ask a woman.
Okay.
Now, how about you silly motherfuckers actually ask her for her test results? How about you ask her if she has herpes, considering that 48% of Black women have herpes?
Okay.
According to the CDC. How about, isn't that a better question?
That's not even true, but okay. That's a crazy number. That's not accurate. It's impossible for 48% women having that, bro.
Like, how many people has she slept with? It's a stupid question. She could tell you one. She could tell you 1 million. Who fucking knows?
We hit that. So yeah, we saw your questions up here, and that's part of the conversation I don't mind having. Based on the lady up here, there's better questions. There's better ways to find out how the woman moves than to ask her straight out about the body count, right?
There's other questions you got to ask too. I agree with somewhat with what's happening right now, but there's other questions you have to ask too. Hey, if you want to ask body count, that's your prerogative. But you also can say, hey, how many STDs have you ever had? Or how many abortions have you had?
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, so we did already establish that.
How about on the first date you bring your STD results with you to include herpes? How about that?
She may not show up, Trey.
So but we did. So we actually, to be fair, Trey, we already moved it from that. We wasn't even talking about the body count no more because we already said that.
Reacting to this woman here and her.
Once you start having a conversation,
my point is we shouldn't be talking about it at all anymore.
No, that wasn't. But that wasn't the.
Why haven't we moved past it as an entire group?
So Trey. Okay, go ahead. Just real quick, I'm gonna get off Trey. The reason that I think a lot of people are bringing up body count, especially the people in my office, the people that I work with, the guys and the girls we talking, is because I guess the internet is really educating people. And so there's doctors who are saying the more people women sleep with, it knocks off their pH balance. It makes them grouchy, mean, upset, bitter. They take on the characteristics of their partners they've been with. It makes them who they are. It creates them who they are. It really fucks a woman. The more women, if y'all want to Google this right now, and MD or whatever, the more men a woman sleeps with, it fucks her pH balance the fuck up to the point where it fucks her up where her kids won't even latch on her after she have kids.
You know what? We can see what's happening in Serena Williams.
That's a white woman now.
Right? Yeah, he's sticking all that DNA in her, man. She don't even know what's up with that. She's getting mad at cotton ball.
But the thing is, bro, listen, man. Literally, no man is walking around asking for body count, bro. That's literally. I don't understand why this guy come over here and say ain't no man walking around asking for body counts.
So but this is what I was explaining. That's why we moved the conversation earlier in the show a long way past the body count. We already had agreed when 100 Watts was up here that no man is actually asking a woman her body count. our biggest thing was that when you having the conversation with her, she's going to tell you everything you need to know as long as you're having that conversation. So even what Trey was saying, as far as like there's other questions, of course, that's what we were saying. So we wasn't nowhere near stuck on the body count. It just so happened that this video had came back up, and that's what pushed that back to there. But that's what we were saying.
Is there any empirical evidence that shows that men aren't asking?
No, so it's not. So a lot of this is based off of our anecdotal, our observation. But what we already know is that, again, we also said it's a difference with age of men too, different generations, right? It's a lot of things that we already put on the table already. So we wasn't even on the whole thing of body count anymore. We took that a whole different route.
Yeah, but you guys are saying that you moved past something because you just said, "Oh, men aren't doing it," but in fact, there are men asking.
Yeah, I'm saying we can't say if it's a whole bunch of men, but what I'm saying is that it doesn't seem, like I said, again, anecdotal, right? So when we're talking about it, I'm saying I don't know any man myself that's going to be on a date with a female or in a relationship with her, and he's going to straight come out about her body count, because again, there were various things that we were saying. We were saying that it still matters of her past, her sexual past.
But JT, before we go down this detail, I mean, I don't know how much of this you caught, Trey. We had the guy from Psych Hacks on, and he had a very good explanation on pretty much why you're saying it might be stupid to look at it some of the ways some of these men are. I just didn't want to get trapped. So this white lady up there is talking about that. It's a big red flag if she ever gets asked that question directly. And I wanted to kind of react to what she said. And, but there's some things she said that what she's really saying, she doesn't want to be judged either. Now, of course, we could all agree that if a man's just passing through to bang her ass out, we don't give a shit about her body count, whether we ask or not. But if you want her to be a wife or you want to cuff her up and all that kind of shit, her past matters, whether you ask a stupid question of body count or not. You still want to know what kind of past she has. And for you is what kind of disease and abortions and all that kind of stuff. It kind of goes hand in hand with promiscuity. Right? Whether you ask for a body count or not, if she's walking around with fucking fungus in her pussy, you can almost say, man, you know what? Maybe she was out there.
But on the other side, if your number is at or lower what he deems societally okay for a lady, he will say that you're lying. Because let me say it again. If he's asking you about your body count, it's because he's a deeply insecure man.
All right, so this is a question for everybody. Is what she said exactly true from the standpoint of how she's saying it? Does it make a man deeply insecure? If you asking it like a wimp, I don't disagree with her, but to be concerned about it, does it make you deeply
Nope. And this is, listen, man, this is coming from somebody that I never asked the fucking question. Man, I'm a stone down play. I don't have to ask that shit. I can go figure it out. There's plenty of ways you're gonna know your homegirl is out here busting it wide open or not. It's plenty of ways. You just probably a longer route the way I do it, right?
Right.
But that's only if I want this bitch to be my girlfriend. If I just want to bust this whole down, I don't give a fuck. And she just want to get this thing and go about her day. Right? But even for the men that decide to ask, that don't make the insecure at all. But think about it, bro. How can you call someone insecure? That's a nigga with boundaries right there, man. Nigga, you don't want to be walking around with a neighborhood hoe. Like what? And the person that could, only women use those kind of words, insecure, right? Think about it. They be having 3 pounds of makeup, somebody else here, lashes, fake nails. They take their eyebrows off to drop them right back up, but they call you insecure, nigga. Are you serious? You got it. You got it.
Yeah, so
Trey, what say you on that one? Does it make a man? I mean, you have a set of questions that you need to know.
But the only insecurity comes
Okay.
Insecurity comes if she tells you a number and the number you're not comfortable with and you accept it anyway. Then yes, you're insecure. If you don't have a standard to stand on, and she says whatever number she says, and you say, "Oh, that's too high for me," and you don't walk the fuck away from her, then you're insecure because you're allowing her to do whatever the hell it is she wants to do, and you don't have a standard. But if you have a standard, you say, "I don't date women that have had over such and such number of bodies," and you walk the fuck away from her, then no, you're not insecure. It honestly depends on the answer that she gives. But to me, the act, what the man does in response to the question determines his level of insecurity, as far as I'm concerned. Because the fact of the matter is that none of us actually know shit. And the fact of the matter is that almost every woman is a slut at this point. They're all having casual sex, which would make them by definition sluts. So get what you want, take what you want from it. But if the number isn't what you want it to be, then walk away from her. And if it's a number you comfortable with, then press on. You know what I realized? At the end of the day, nigga, when you're 80 years old, who's gonna give a fuck what some people said on the screen? You know what I mean?
So Trey, you said everything that we said already. Even when Poppy said you was in alignment with what he said. He came on, he said most of these bras are all hoes anyway. He said the same fucking thing. When it comes down to the age, I said the same thing. I said once a man gets to a certain age, it's a lot of stuff that he don't really care. That's why we had delineated it already from that point. That's why we were saying that, I mean, with the title, it says one thing, but what we were saying was these are all the things that, that matters to men. But the way we find out also is very intricate too, right? So when you dating somebody, you got to be able to find out whatever it is, because it goes to what you just had said. We don't know shit. We don't know nothing yet. But one of the biggest things is that in conversation, in due time, you're going to find out everything you need to know. Now, what Poppy was just saying, as far as like the way that they dress and the makeup and all these different things, a lot of the guys don't like that shit. So that's another delineation also with women. The way that they move out here in the world. You would know all these things if you're paying attention to them. The body count itself, I mean, why would you ask somebody to lie to you? Because that's all you're going to do is ask them to lie. How many people have you slept with? I've only slept with 3 people. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's actually a stupid question to ask a female. You're going to find out everything you need to know. And like and we said it earlier, I don't know how much you've seen at a show, Trey. I said it's an issue if you had a woman that probably only had 3 guys, right? But one of the dudes she was with, she was a side chick, right? And she was a side chick for 6 years with this guy. Then there's another nigga that she was with. He dating somebody else while he with her. She's dating somebody else while she's with him. All these different things. And that could have been for another 3 years. And then it's like she probably was married and cheated on her husband. A lot of times they end up telling you this shit when they're feeling comfortable with you. All you got to do is just listen. And that's what we were saying. That's what we had got to and took the conversation.
Yeah, but this whole conversation is silly. And I'm going to tell you why. If you met a woman that's 30 years old, and let's say since she was 18, she had 3 boyfriends since she was 30, and they fucked every day. All 3 boyfriends she had, not all at one time, through 3 separate boyfriends. But with those 3 separate boyfriends, they had sex every day. Is that better than being with a woman who has 30 bodies and she only fucked them 1 time? Which one's worse?
No, you're right. You're right.
Because I would make the argument that the 30-year-old is ran through.
So
no, yeah, I disagree with that. But I hear that.
I get what he said. Right, I get his argument.
I'm trying to get at. Men are so concerned with the number of men.
The number of men matters because it has a discernment factor to it, though. If it's one guy,
so she could have had sex thousands of times. That doesn't matter.
No, listen. I assume that a woman with a man, I would assume that she's fucking this guy on a regular basis. So that, but the decision has already been made once. Then this is the guy she wants to fuck, and she has some kind of connection with him. that matters, that she could cleave to a dude. But if she had 100 different fucking guys, that means there was a certain amount of discernment that she's lacking, even if those guys only fucked up once. I mean, what I'm saying, that's just me. I mean, it's not really a big argument other than the fact that I would have some kind of feeling of a woman who's getting up from a different bed for a different guy who fucking skeeted all over her. Now it's the next guy. Now it's the next guy. That shit's kind of crazy to me. As opposed to one boyfriend who fucked the shit out of her a lot.
As opposed to one guy doing it every day.
Yes, because it's one fucking guy.
So neither one of them.
It's still not. Who cares?
No, but it's.
It does matter. What are you talking about, bro?
It's still.
You could assume that a married woman is having sex if she's married, though.
200,000 miles, but it's only been driven by one person, but it's got 200,000 fucking miles on it.
Bro, it does matter, fam. She has what it showed you. What it showed you. What it showed you. What it. Bro, you can I talk, my nigga? Yo, what he showed you is that
if you gonna say
hey, gang, hey, yo, hey, my nigga, I ain't gonna let you continue disrespecting me, homie. Like, what's up with you, homie?
What's gonna happen if you don't?
Like, what's up with you, homie? Like, while I'm asking you, let me talk, my nigga. Let me rock, my nigga. Like, you can just shut the fuck and start saying stupid shit, bro.
You're trying to make an argument against a silly conversation. It's silly.
Okay, why you? Okay, I agree. I agree. It's silly. It's silly. Why you jump over here to say that it's silly? Then why you join it?
To come and say it's a silly conversation, and we need.
Okay, so why you jump to? Why you join it then, bro?
Manosphere, out of the red pill, whatever the fuck you want to call this silly shit. Now, all this shit needs to be moved out. Here's at the end.
I ain't even a red pill, you stupid nigga.
The fact of the matter is, this isn't working. This whole idea of we got to figure out what the women are doing and educate doing. It's not working.
All right, cool. Cool. Yeah. Cool. But listen, the thing is that it matters because it shows that the woman has been committed to those particular guys that were her boyfriend. That's why it matters.
Right. So listen, and plus, we weren't talking about red pill and all that shit today, man. We just having a general conversation. I mean, you could be stupid and you could have a position, but I'm just saying that none of us up here, I never asked them about it. We're having a general conversation. Whether it's stupid or not is another thing. But
why are we having
but we're not talking about red pill. Well, let me finish talking, Trey. I mean, come on, man. I mean, we just having this conversation about this. Yeah, I agree with you.
This isn't the first time you've had this conversation about body count.
Well, Trey, man, we have repeat conversations.
This is the fourth or fifth time we've had this conversation about body count.
So what, man? What's the conversation? Listen, man. You know what? I'm just trying to say this, and you can't just keep cutting people off, man. I let you speak. I let everybody else speak. We understand the conversation is that does body count matter, and when it doesn't matter. And we had a whole series of people who were saying the way men look at it could be stupid. And one lady who says that if she gets asked that question directly, she feels a certain kind of way. And we just had conversations about how people view it. I mean, it's just kind of degrading calling everybody stupid because we're talking about it. I mean, people are still talking about this shit. We ain't making this shit up, So, and we're not making any judgments saying, hey, listen, the one thing about body count that matters, I'm going to end the fucking show after this too, because I don't want to argue about this, is that everybody is going to be, if you're serious about a woman, it matters what kind of past she has. Now, do you make all your judgments based on that? Maybe, maybe not, but the point really is it matters how she moved in life. And how many dicks she sucks matters. I mean, if you're going to tell me it doesn't, that's cool. But you know what? I disagree with that. So I'm just saying, man, we don't have to kind of belittle the whole show and all that kind of stuff. What's going on, Spotter? Hey, we're getting ready to get out of here, man. I didn't want to end the show in an argument or nothing like that, man. I'm just saying. I don't know if you're there, Poppy. Thanks for stopping by. JT, you too. Everybody.
You take care, all right?
Yeah, man. It was a good conversation. Trey, you too, man. Well, we're gonna probably argue again in the future about something. And everybody in the chat, hey, listen, yeah, it's a dumb way to find out how the woman moved by just saying something stupid like "What's your body count?" I would agree with that. And I think we all came to that conclusion before. You got to be a little bit more stealthy. to find out, because her character matters, just like yours does. Anyway, gentlemen, we try to have better topics. In the future, we'll have another topic, but I thought this was a cool one. Anyway, everybody, good night. Thanks, BMU, for coming up, man. We're out of here, man. Take it easy.